Son of a bitch.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Because you are my friend.
Here we go!
Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 13 of the Super Enabler Bros show. I'm Jason, the Corpse Slug Gaming, and as always, I'm accompanied by my awesome co-host, Chris, the old ass retro gamer. How you doing, Chris?
13 is not an unlucky number.
I've sincerely hoped so. Maybe we should have just skipped it to 14. But
Well, the hotels do it. Why can't we?
How much more unlucky can we get in the world we live in today? Honestly,
I don't know. In a couple days, it's going to get a little bit better.
not for I. Our lockdown just got extended, but enough about COVID because this is the Good Times podcast, and we are exuding average dick energy today, and we're all about it. So, with that being said, I hope you've been able to enjoy life, watch whatever you want, play whatever you want, buy whatever you want. So that's what we do here. We enable
Treat yourself.
treat yourself. I've had to find alternate ways to treat myself from the normal ways because
No one wants to hear about that.
It's
Jason.
shown
No
up.
one wants to hear about that.
It's very PG.
Okay. I was going to say.
We'll talk about it later in the pickups section.
Ooh.
But yeah. But in what I'm hoping you've been playing is just an exorbitant amount of games. Am I hitting the nail on the head there or what?
Not really, no. But I have beat 2 games this year so far.
Well, that's better than no games.
Yeah.
So, what have you been playing?
Well,
It's been a while since our last episode. You could talk about anything you played since the last episode.
I've only played 2 things. Well, I'm playing a third thing now. But since the last episode, I started playing it at the end of 2019. Bought it like the day before Christmas Eve, so Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And I beat it last week, and that is Cyberpunk 2077.
You did it.
I did it.
Congratulations.
I did it. Yeah.
I'm so happy you did it.
Yes, I'm glad that I took the chance, and it could have been a disaster, like I kept on hearing everyone on the internet say, and it was not.
Aside from everyone aside from
Yeah, you and Josh are like, oh my god, this game! Oh.
I'm suddenly lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
The color.
I've been fighting going back to it and playing more before getting my collector's edition. Church has not fought that very hard. He's finished it and then went right back into it to take a different angle at it. So
yeah, he wants to play through all the submissions and stuff like that.
I
see everything that the game offers.
I do too, but I want some of the DLC kind of stuff coming out so I can organically play it with the rest of the game.
Well,
so that's what I'm planning to do.
Yeah, now that I've beaten it, I'm gonna sit on it for a while, and when I finally get around to getting a Xbox Series X, where I'll be able to get the upgraded version for free, just for buying this, I'll play through it again. I think with a female character this time, and try to do everything, the DLCs and all that kind of stuff. But I can definitely see myself playing through it again because I absolutely loved it. I think by the end of the game, I'd put about 85 hours into it.
Yeah, it was pretty close to being my game of the year. I loved it that much. And it wasn't just based on hype. I truly enjoy those kind of worlds. And I know, I think they delivered. Obviously, any open world game that comes out has issues. But it seems like just the lightning rod of hate and drama right now. And
I think everyone was just crybaby about it being delayed 30 times or whatever. And
and all these stupid stories coming out about.
But most of the people I'm guaranteeing have never even played it.
Yeah, unlike everyone's bitching about people coming forth and saying how terrible the development cycle was and what they were expected and them lying about things. I'm like, I don't feel like this is a Colonial Marines situation, but it feels like they're trying to make it a Colonial Marines situation. But I don't feel lied to. I feel I got what I wanted out of the game.
I had no expectations because I hadn't been following it. I mean, the first time I said I was interested was when Keanu popped up at C2 at E3 that one year.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I might look into that game when it comes out. And that was pretty much it. But
Right?
Cyberpunk is like my favorite sci-fi subgenre. So I
Yeah.
probably would have played through it anyway. But when it comes to games like this, I don't get on that bandwagon. I wait till the game comes out. I'll read some reviews, hear what my friends have to say, then I usually pull the trigger.
Yeah,
Or not.
I wanted to play about it. It's like the more the more I've heard about it, the more I've seen of it. But honestly, past E3 when there was actually like significant stuff being shown, I was sold on it. I pre-ordered the collector's edition as soon as I could, which actually was, I think, like 2 months later. I finally found. I think they put some more stock up on GameStop, and I was able to pre-order it. But I've been sold since E3 for sure. Like I was already interested, but I was like, I'm not even watching anything else because a lot like Church does, I go kind of media blackout when I've already made my decision to buy a game because I'm like, you never know when they're gonna like, Terminator Genesis the trailer and be like, oh, I can look at that big twist in the trailer.
Yeah.
The big twist of the game is in the trailer. Okay, neat. Thank you. So that's why I don't do that. I know that's not the only movie to do that, but yeah. That was a pretty big dick move. That could have been a cool moment otherwise.
Yeah. But my thing is play the game, then make your judgments. I loved it to the point where I can, like I said, I can definitely see myself playing through it a second time. Yeah,
that's the only I do the disclaimer because all the problems I'm hearing are from like the base launch consoles.
Yeah, I have a Pro and I have an Xbox One X, so I played it on my Xbox One X, and yeah, I had some graphical glitches.
Yeah,
nothing really affected the gameplay. It was just appearances only. I had maybe 2 instances where something happened that actually affected the gameplay, but it wasn't anything that like stopped the game to the point where I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. It was nothing. It was just mild inconvenience.
Yeah, I was like 15, 20 hours in before I even noticed really anything of note that was wrong. And when I did encounter stuff, it was mostly on the funny side.
Yeah.
Or if I complain about this, I'm kind of just being a little bitch. Like,
yeah, it was nothing worth bringing up.
I noticed something when I was driving in like a flatter part, like outside the city. I noticed stuff like popping in the distance, and I'm like, is that really affecting my experience? No.
Yeah, so it was nothing that I experienced while playing the game made me want to stop playing it.
But the actual things I encountered are the people that would complain about the things that I saw are the same people who would be bitching about frame rate dropping like 5 frames per second lower than their standards.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're going to be like an absolute stickler for like every detail, yeah, don't even bother. Don't even bother playing games in general. Just enjoy things or not. Get out of the hobby if you're just in a hobby to hate. But like I said on the game tenants when you were on, I feel like, I don't know, I didn't experience it, so not my problem kind of attitude, and I don't usually like to feel that way, but when it comes to games, I find I get that a lot, where someone will be like, oh my god, that game is such a broken piece of shit, and I'll be like, I beat the whole game and didn't experience one glitch, one even hiccup. I don't know. I'm sorry that you had a bad experience, but
I didn't.
Unless I have the experience too, I can't share in the anger, and I'm not going to just grab a pitchfork to be part of the group.
Yeah.
So this is another instance of that where I'm like, my game wasn't really ruined at all. So I had one quest where it wasn't triggering a thing that was supposed to happen, so I couldn't finish.
Did it have to do with a router on a wall?
Nope. No, it was the taxi cab one, where the automated taxi cabs are going like crazy.
Oh, where they're going crazy, yeah.
The one where
the one with the portal robot voice.
Yeah, The only one that had a
GLaDOS.
problem was the one where you have to run over the flamingos, because I looked it up.
Mhm.
And that's the only one that I found the car, but it wouldn't trigger, when you had to drive close to them, and it would get a radio signal and you'd communicate with it, and then it would find out what was wrong with it. I was crashing into it and it wasn't doing it. So that would be, I'd say, the biggest con of this whole game was that's the only thing I ran into where I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. But it wasn't a main mission.
Reload your game and it usually works again, right?
And I checked anytime I was in the area, it wasn't going. So I'm sure with I bet you the update that's out now fixed that.
Yeah, I had no problems with those.
But it was just kind of I don't like I said, I don't generally like to have this attitude, but I didn't experience it, so I can't be on people's side and bandwagoning hate for this game because I've only had fun with it. Things that didn't affect the gameplay or either, like I said, either funny, like shooting a guy into a door and just his head and his feet and hands are going. And I was like, this is hilarious. This is added to my experience. I wasn't laughing, and now I am. And then I opened the door, and his body fell on the ground, and everything was back to normal. There's a couple times where I'd shoot somebody, and they'd go
flying from the shot, but they would stop in the air and float in the air.
That sounds fun.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. As far as gameplay wise, the only thing else, some guns felt ridiculously underpowered, like machine guns in general, for the most part. I found unless they were one I picked up under that mission, they were kind of weak. They took much more shots than they should have. But I just fixed that problem by using a katana, revolver, and a shotgun the whole game until I picked up this sniper rifle that did 8 times the damage of any other gun I encountered in the game. And I got rid of the shotgun and I point blank range sniped guys like the guys I could punch them, but I'm like, should probably just shoot them with the sniper rifle, right? That's what they're for.
Get your XP up on that.
Yeah, and it was.
No, I was telling Church that I ended up finding a katana that was so overpowered that when you end up fighting Atom Smasher in the ending, all I did was use that, and he was dead in 30 seconds each time.
Yeah, he was a bitch.
Yeah, I just walked up behind him and slash. I do a power slash. And slash, walk away. He'd come after me. I'd circle around him, power slash, and in 30 seconds he was dead. This thing had him it was a cakewalk with that sword.
I think it was supposed to be harder.
But at that point in the game, you've got all this overpowered. Was it the legendary equipment sometimes?
Maybe that's a glitch we ran into. That was supposed to be tough, and it just really wasn't.
Well, no, the thing was, so what I was going to say was I liked the game so much that I actually had saved my game right before you get to the point where the game tells you you're about to enter the end game. If there's anything else you want to do now, go do it before you go to this part.
Yeah.
So I saved right before, and what I ended up doing was when I beat the game, I went back and beat it 3 more times and made different choices and got a total of so far 4 different endings.
Yeah, I did.
And I killed Atom Smasher the exact same time in those endings with that sword, and it happened exactly the same each time. That sword was just so overpowered. I was like, I took out a giant mech man with a sword.
I beat the game quite a while before I announced I beat the game because I was like, okay, well, I know there's different endings and I know that it'll be affected by things I do. So I did the earlier, kind of the bad endings just to check them out. And then I played and got the actual ending. That's when I declared I've beaten the game.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh man, you just speedrunned it. And I was like, no. I enjoyed it. I'd say I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I didn't super thoroughly enjoy it. I didn't do every quest. I didn't do everything because I've said before, got the fucking collector's edition. I don't want it to just sit on a shelf sealed. I'm going to play the shit out of that because it cost me significantly more than my PS4 copy that I basically just bought to talk about on this show and the Game Tenants.
Yeah.
So I bought it for the content.
Yeah.
I wanted to not make excuses not to do game tenants because I knew that church was getting it day one.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't going to be no bitch just going, that's nice. Yeah, it sounds really fun. Cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'll probably get it in August. If I'm lucky.
Well, I just remember you saying when you told me that you beat it, and I was like, how long did it take you? You're like, oh, I don't know, 35 hours. And then I played through it. And
it was like 40 something. Yeah, it was like 40 something.
Yeah, and then I played through it, and I spent like 85 hours in it, and I probably could have done a lot more. And I was just kind of like, God damn.
I didn't get caught up anywhere. Like, I was very efficient. So maybe that's, I don't know. Like, I really didn't write. I wasn't really like, I need another beat for the scoreboard or something. Like,
no, what I would do is like,
I feel like a lot of people think that's what I do, but I just like games. I'm efficient at them, and some games if I get tired of them, I want to. I did not get tired of this game.
Yeah,
but I had to do what I did with Skyrim, where I was like, I'm bookmarking it here. Okay. Because I'm gonna play it again, and I want to not be like, yeah, I've done this, I don't want to be like skipping through shit, like, hurry up, let me shoot some stuff. So I want to have the ambition to play this game again. So that's why I didn't want to do absolutely everything. So some things are still a surprise. But in Skyrim, when I got all the achievements, I was just threw it at my brother, like, borrow it until the DLC comes out. Because I was like, I'll just play it. I'll just keep playing it.
Yeah. What I would do is, like, if I was on my way to a mission or like a waypoint that I had to get to for the story, I'd be looking at the map as you're going there, and I'd be like, oh, there's a thing over here that's showing up, like there's an assault happening. I'll go do it.
Yeah, I love it.
Or there's like, oh, there's a kidnapped person over here I need to rescue. I'll just go take care of that while I'm on my way. I would do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I did a shit ton of those. Like, I was the same way. Like, I would not go out of my way for most stuff. Like, I went out of the way for the graffitis and the
tarot card things. Yeah,
the a couple of the collectibles in that way. I was like, hey, I'm going to take care of all these in one swoop. Mm-hmm. If I can access them all, I'll just do that now. So I did that kind of stuff, but when it came to like other shit, I didn't really go out of my way. I'm very much like a compartmentalize stuff. When I'm in a district, I'll wipe out all the shit in that district.
Spider-Man.
Basically what I do. It's much in the way that Spider-Man is set up to be done is basically how I generally do games. Like, I'll save, like, speaking of Skyrim again, I'll save till I've got a whole bunch of missions that have me going to this, the one city, and I'll be like, cool, now I can knock out 8 quests in like 5 minutes when I'm there. Mm-hmm. I originally started doing that in Morrowind because I played about 60, 80 hours of that game walking to places before I noticed, does that say fast travel? I've been walking everywhere in this bitch. I love exploring, so I didn't feel like that much of a dumbass. Like, I've explored so much of this map, and I would take different routes to go places, but I was like, son of a bitch, you mean?
Yeah.
So
that was my problem in Cyberpunk 2 was I enjoyed the songs that they would play on the industrial radio station in the game so much that I would actually just drive to the places instead of doing the fast traveling.
Yeah, I drove everywhere in the game too, but it was, I don't know. I think I got doing that from Morrowind is where I just like, oh, okay, I got 10 things that go in that general area. I'll wipe them all out at once. And yeah, like I said, when we're driving somewhere, I'd be like, it's kind of a pain in the ass to get in and out of the car, but whatever. I'd hop out and it was just like Terminator mode. Just, there's like 3 guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that. It's sometimes that's all you needed to do is just shoot 3 or 4 guys. Sometimes it was like 20 guys. Mm-hmm. But my wife thought I went crazy at some point playing that game when I was doing I think it was the second time you play as Johnny. Maybe it was the first time you play as Johnny. Sorry, spoilers. You play as Johnny sometimes. But where I really like. I already like revolvers, but I really fell in love with revolvers because
Yes,
his fucking gun. Where I was like, not even
reloads it by spinning it.
I was headshotting guys from like 100 feet away easily with just the little dot reticule. I was laughing at how easily I was killing everybody. It was just boom, 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 boom. No cover whatsoever. Just wow. You really thought you could fuck with Keanu.
Not the cat.
Like if there was like online multiplayer, it would be like Odd Job all over again. Like no Keanu's. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was laughing maniacally. Like I thought it was so pathetic that anyone had even tried to attack this guy with his handgun. It would just
that was the thing, is like in those flashbacks when you play as, Keanu's character, when you play as Johnny, that gun is very overpowered, but when you actually get it in the modern day, it sucks.
Yeah. Things have progressed since then. I
was just kind of like, I got it. I tried to use it during one mission. I was like, wow, this is terrible. This is not what I had tried. This is not the same gun I used earlier. So I just went to my apartment and put it on the wall.
False advertisement.
Yeah. I was like, God damn, you get my hopes up that I'm going to have this like super awesome gun the rest of the game. Nope.
Yeah. It was just a laugh riot playing the Johnny Parts because of that. Just, I don't know. I guess maybe in like the years since he's died, they've upgraded faceplates for Cybernet.
I don't know, man. Those ones that you would see on some of the bad guys in the game. That was like a mask that it would like have like the digital readout on it and stuff, so you couldn't see the people's faces. I want one of those.
Yeah, I was just like, heads were squishier back in the day, Johnny. What can I tell you? I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, the game is fantastic. I love the writing. I love the characters. It's probably Keanu Reeves' best acting job in years.
It was really good.
Yeah. You actually get a feel for the character, even though he's supposed to sort of be antagonistic.
I can't hate Keanu.
That's the thing.
He could have been the main antagonist of the entire game, and it turned out like he's fucking. I
still want to get a beer with him.
I'd be like, I probably deserve it if I'm pissed off Keanu. Like, yeah. Am I the bad guy? I'd be like, no, there's no way Keanu's the bad guy. Like, I'm the bad guy, clearly, right? I didn't know it. I didn't try to be, but I guess you're a bad guy. Like they say, you're the bad guy in someone else's story.
Yeah.
So,
but I absolutely love it. I think it's a fantastic game.
Hells yeah! And
not the lightning rod of hate it deserves. It does not deserve the lightning rod of hate, is what I should say.
To upgrade, update on last episode's Cyber Dick Talk, there's no dick mods, and I'm so sorry to report to anyone.
I gave my guy the average dick energy.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no later on, because I know Mosley was dying to know, is there like Doc Ock Cock or something?
Doc Ock Cock.
But
although I will say that over the course of my playthrough, my guy certainly got a lot of ass from both sides. Accidentally, I think I said it in the Game Tenants podcast that I accidentally triggered a male prostitute and had sex with a male prostitute at one point. I just thought I was having a conversation with the guy. I thought he was just saying some random shit, and I was just kind of like, yeah, this, yeah, that, yeah, that. What, we're fucking now?
Whoops, you have a way with words.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. Like, all right, whatever. And then, like, I immediately like ran across the street to the female hooker, and I was like, I need to fix this.
I need to cleanse. I need to see balance. But
it's cool. Yeah, I got some ass in that game.
Cool. So, what other games have you been playing since the last episode?
I also played through Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox. I was in an Xbox mood.
Yeah.
After playing Cyberpunk, I was like, I need to play this console more often, since I kind of favor my PS4 over it.
I favor Xbox and PS4 over the Switch, so I've been kind of doing that with the Switch lately. Like, I got it, and the Wii U, but we'll get to that.
But another open world game, so I was kind of like, oh, this should be a piece of cake. I just played through a gigantic open world game. This should be easy, and I beat this game in like 6 hours.
Yeah, it's a respectful of your time open world game. It doesn't give you a lot of. There's the option there, but it doesn't like really throw it in your face like a lot of open world.
It's not like required that you do all this extra shit, but it's there if you want it.
It's and like, I didn't want it. It's like, hey, you enjoying this?
Yeah.
There's more of this, or you can just like keep playing the game, have fun,
which is what I did.
Yeah.
I just kept playing the game.
It's just kind of off to the side.
And that was like I started playing it on a Sunday morning, and I beat it the following day in the evening.
Damn. Yeah, it didn't take me very long either, but I enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah,
but
it's fun. I mean, like the whole
when it starts to get old,
airborne mechanic is kind of fun.
Yeah, and when I found like it's one of those games that doesn't overstay its welcome, really. Like I said, there's option to keep going, but it doesn't like finish all of this. You have to finish at least 85% of it before we let you beat the game. Like you can just go ahead. So it in that way it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it feels like it's just as long as it needs to be. So
yeah. I did enjoy how it fakes you out with the ending.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like I started taking pictures with my phone to be like, I just beat it, and then it's like your guy comes out, and it's like, did you really think we were gonna end the game like this? No. Here's how it really ends, and then the game starts again. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But it was funny. It had a really fun sense of humor.
I vaguely remember that. It's been a long time because it's like
they make you think your character died.
Yeah, because I think
everyone's like, oh no. And then the credits roll, and then he pops out in the credits. It's like, you really think I'm gonna die? You think that's how we're gonna end this game? It's like, fuck no.
Yeah, because it was one of the first games I beat when I got my Xbox One, so I vaguely remember it.
It does feel like a first generation game. That's the thing. It feels more like a tech demo of what the speed the console can run and the amount of things on screen at once type of thing. More than
because it gets so many enemies. It's kind of like what the first Dead Rising was for the 360. You're like, holy shit! There's like 150 things on screen or whatever.
Yeah, so that's what it felt like that to me. I was like, this is a very first gen game, which it was.
Just a power,
but it was still entertaining. I still had fun. It's Insomniac, and they make some great shit, so I wasn't sad about it. And now I'm currently playing the first Borderlands.
Sweet. How far are you in that? How
maybe 3 hours. I haven't played a whole lot of it.
It's awesome. I like it. Yeah, I don't know if we'd be able to play co-op with if it's like compatible with the 360 version, but I beat that game to death. I got
telling me about your overpowered gun.
Yeah, but I beat it to death even before I had the overpowered gun. I think I had the overpowered gun just for like the last 2 DLCs, but it's an equalizer if you need a little boost or help if you get stuck in a part. It's good to have. But yeah, I don't know if it's a 2000 gamer score game or a 1750 or whatever the fuck, but I got every fucking achievement in that game. Some of them were not as fun. They were very grindy, but overall, I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, and what I've played so far, it's pretty fun.
And you figured I would have just murdered the shit out of everyone since, and I started 2, but I think it's the way I started 2. I started 2 with my friend who'd already played a bunch, and it became don't even try to fight anything because you're too weak, and don't let anything hit you because you will die. So I was just like, oh, so just kind of like hide behind you and pick stuff up. I'm like,
can I carry my character from 1 over to 2?
No, I don't think so. No. And he was basically just trying to power level me. I was like, no, that's gonna make the game boring when I go to play it then. Because for the beginning of the game, I'll be like overpowered for the beginning of the game. I'm like, those games have pretty decent balance, and there's no, there's a couple of those like really hard bosses that you have to be pretty good level and almost definitely require you to play with friends that have good shit too. Like I remember Cromarax in the first one was one like, yeah, you definitely need to get a group together to fight him, at least at first. But I remember soloing him after a while, especially when I had that gun, because he dropped a mountain of shit. Yeah, I really hope you enjoy it and stick with it because those are such fun games.
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. I like the graphical style; it's pretty cool. I like the thing is, like I said, I'm in a mood for open world games like right now, so I'm trying to play through a lot of the ones that I've missed over the years, and
that's definitely a good one to. Next, I might suggest. I know it's like 100 and something hours away. Maybe, if you're so willing, play some Mass Effect. It is.
It's on my list of things I want to play this year. I want to play through all 4 of them this year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, also, I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. That was supposed to be my next game after I beat Cyberpunk, but I was kind of like, I want to play the Xbox One a little bit more, so I put in the Sunset Overdrive. And I was like, when that's done, I kind of want to play my Xbox One some more, so I'm going to continue with this Borderlands thing.
This isn't the super force people into playing shit, bros. Play it when you want, but
yeah,
I really wish you would, so we could talk about how good it is and how much you regret waiting so long.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still need to play all the Mass Effect games. I still need to play all of the Dragon Age games.
Yeah.
I should probably beat
But
Knights of the Old Republic.
Definitely Mass Effect before Dragon Age, but I do love me some Dragon Age.
Well, I played about halfway through Dragon Age and got some Morrigan ass for my trouble.
There you go. Yeah. Cool. So
Claudia Black. Claudia Black. Call
me. Anything else you've been playing?
No, that's it when it comes to playing stuff.
What about your
what have you been playing?
What your roulette game?
Huh? Oh yeah. Another winner. So last roulette I got the Conduit on the Wii.
It feels like it's kind of the weed 'em out roulette. You just aren't enjoying the roulette games.
I think right now we're sitting at like 50-50.
I'm not trying to...
But I know you enjoyed it. I had zero patience for the motion controls. That game reminded me of the reason why I got rid of my original Wii in the first place, was because I just hated the motion controls, and I could not aim to save my life in that game. I came to a point where I can't remember the building you're running up to, but there's like 4 of those portals that the monsters come out of in this like government building.
Yeah, it's kind of like the, what is it, the Lincoln Memorial type thing.
And I tried it at least 20, 30 times, and I just could not, my aiming, I couldn't aim.
Yeah.
So like I take out a bunch of guys, I'd run in there, I'd pick up the bazooka, I'd try to aim at the portals to close those first so the guys would stop streaming in, and someone would shoot me from behind. I'm like, where did you fucking come from?
Yeah, that's what I said to you when I started playing it too, because like we started playing it around the same time. And at first it was just like, hi, I've never played a 3D game before. It reminded me of when I played Halo 3 with my sister-in-law, who'd never played anything since like Super Nintendo. And it was just like,
new set of rules.
Follow me. And she was like, I can't. Where? Something's shooting me. I'm like, I killed them all. You're safe. It was basically like it was basically like a long ass Natalia escort mission.
Yeah.
She's just walking away getting shot by shit. So basically kill everything around her without killing her. Yeah. But so that's how I felt at first. It took me quite a while, I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't enjoy it at first, but I got used to a way I could play without having to sit up and be like, because that's what I really hate when it's like Skyward Sword, when it's like you gotta slash in the right way. Like, don't make me do this much shit. If I wanted to work out, I just stop playing video games. If I wanted to get an effective workout, I just play a Kinect game.
Yeah, there you go.
So
yeah,
I figured out how to like comfortably play it, and then I was more okay. Like, because I was getting ready to be like, I'll just pretend I didn't even play this. I'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard it's a good game, but I've never played it myself. But I was like, I started to get it, and I was like, okay, I think I fucked with some of the options, and it made it easier too. So that might be a thing.
Yeah, I just had no patience with it. I was like, I got to that point and I could not beat that part, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this game. I'm gonna move on to something I enjoy playing.
Yeah, you were very, very.
I remember I texted you. And I just said, "Oh, so you played through the Conduit, huh?" You're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Fuck this game."
I'm just like, I was like, until you explained, I was like, I hope I didn't like deflate him because I beat it. I was like, obviously, like. Showing off, hey, but then you're like, the controls are fucking garbage. And I was like,
I could not do
because I had a thing happen with Polykill where Blinkum he just tweeted about, let's see if this game's beatable, and it was Shadowgate on the NES. And I was like, and I was in the middle of playing Cyberpunk actually, and I was just like, I love that game, and I'm feeling like playing that shit. And I was like, we'll see.
Well, Shadowgate's awesome.
And then I played it, and I played it. I've gotten decently far in it. I've never beaten the game, but then like I beat it, and he's like, "Fuck sakes, I'm barely starting it up." And like I listened to the Polykill podcast, and he's talking. He's like, "I just got fucking shamed by Corpse Flood." He's like, I barely started the game up, and Cursefield's like, "Yeah, it's beatable. I beat it." I was like, I wasn't doing it to be an asshole.
Hey, I sucked at games, and I beat that back in the day.
And I was like, I wasn't. I don't know. I was like, I'm not trying to look like a braggadocious asshole, but I was like, he inspired me to play Shadowgate. So I was like, I'm gonna play this shit. I love playing Shadowgate, and I was just thinking. I've been thinking for a while, like I really want an excuse to play Shadowgate. I think it's even on my Backlog Roulette. I should actually definitely update that if it's still on there. I think I might have taken it off there because I think I looked, but I'm pretty sure I had that and the 64 one, and I know the 64 one's not that good. But
yeah, I had the 64 one.
At some point, I gotta try it.
Yeah,
and there's the new one that I didn't even know was out. And Limited Run had it, and it's already probably I don't know $600.
I don't think it's one of those games that's got a huge price tag on it. If anything, it's $5 more than.
Okay, well I hope so. I really hope so. But as I mentioned to you, I don't know if I've mentioned it on a podcast yet, but I've significantly cut back on buying games unless they're a game I can actually receive at my house, because I'm getting pretty tired of ordering stuff that just gets added to my pile of dragon loot across at my border box. Because when I bring that back, it's going to be a mortgage payment to get it across the border with all the duty I'm going to have to pay. So I'm probably going to make like 12 trips across when I can go across to just not pay a ridiculous. I'd rather pay more on gas and bridge crossings than pay like $800 to just get my stuff that has been deprived of me, which is usually a thing I do. I usually go across like once a week, or if it's a heavy week, midweek and like Friday, be regular with it. And then it doesn't get so bad. Sometimes it's like $20. No big. It's a bigger thing. Maybe it's like $40. No big. But when it's all that shit that's been waiting since I think early August, there's going to be some shit there. There's some pricey stuff that I got for a good price. And that's the only reason I bought it, is like, this is going to go up. And everything I've said that with has been a good call. Because there's like figures and stuff that I got when they were still in pre-order or like right when they came out. So action figures, I'm just kind of getting back into it because they're easier to access than video games unless they're brand new, at least in Canada. And that's what I've learned. If you don't get them like when they're new or in pre-order, them shits go up like stupid high. Like, oh, that came out 6 months ago. Naturally, it's 8 times the price now. And that's not even for like the super high tier stuff. That's like the stuff you can just go to Target and buy. But it's just that supply and demand issue. I don't know if that's a COVID price thing with that, because like
Lego prices.
I gotta say, I'm just getting back into this kind of stuff. Like I've always kind of dabbled. I went pretty hard years ago, but when I decided to collect video games to an aggressive extent, I was like, I scaled back on all my other collections, and toys was one of them. I still grabbed a couple here and there when I was just like, I gotta have that Soundwave. That's amazing. I need it. But yeah, it's gotten kind of aggressive lately with that, since I can't really pick up any games that aren't on the new systems right now, which sucks. But yeah, I guess I should start blabbing about shit I played. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since I've already mentioned this on the game tenants, so I'll just run through quickly. Yes, I beat Cyberpunk, and then I beat my I beat Beyond Oasis. Then I beat my Backlog Roulette from last episode, which was Arcus Odyssey. It was fucking great. I hope Mosley actually played through it because it was a lot of fun. I played through Baroque on the Wii, House of the Dead Overkill Extended on PS3, because it was the only arcade shooter game that I haven't beaten with the Move controllers, and I've got like 2 of the rifles that I could just do dualies, because everything else is like press a button to reload, so I'd have to be like putting the gun down and going like this a lot. And I was like, I know about that. Like I tried SOCOM, and it needs like that little thumbstick controller to play.
Oh, the movement controller, yeah.
So you aim like this, but it wants you to walk with. I'm like, this is. You think the Conduit was bad? I just dibsed out immediately on that shit. It like some of it automatically runs you out to a place, and then it gives you like control where you can run around. And I was like, I am immediately over this. It's just like none of this is comfortable at all. And then I started playing Time Crisis, and it was something I wanted to do with two guns. Like I want to play these games with someone else, but I can't because you can't hang out with anyone right now because there's constant lockdowns and things change by the day. So I was like, oh well, I'll just two guns in, play by myself. But that was one of the games where like you got to reload with the buttons. So I was like, bullshit. So House of the Dead, I love House of the Dead games. It played like House of the Dead. It was so in that aspect, it was great. But the story is so cringy. It's like a grindhouse story, but it really just doesn't hit the marks for me. I don't know. It just felt way too cringy. All of it.
I just want to go back to the womb.
I hated the characters in general. Like
I don't play a House of the Dead game for character.
They were so
I played so I could shoot zombies.
Yeah, usually they talk a little bit, but they were so like so campy, typecast. Like there was like pissed off black cop that said "motherfucker" every like 2 minutes. I'm like, just wanted to have Samuel L. Jackson, but it was too low budget. It was. Then there was G, who was like in some of the other games, but yeah, it was like good cop, bad cop sounding conversation between it. It was just so over the top and not the right ways. I just wanted to skip the cutscenes so bad, but you couldn't. But like I said, in every other way, it was a House of the Dead game. It was a lengthy House of the Dead game, so it's not like a beat it in an hour game. Like it was actually a good 8 hours, maybe. So in that way, good. But yeah, play it on mute. You'll have a lot more fun. Make up your own voices. I don't know. Something. Just cut out the voices and just have the gun sounds. I don't know. Guns and zombies. I don't know if that should be a. Like I need a mixing board for this game because there's things I want to not hear at all. There's things that I could at least drown it out if I do have to hear it. But yeah, like that. Then I beat Conduit 1, Conduit 2. The second one I liked a little bit better. Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems. I actually beat this at the same time as Captain Algebra, but it wasn't planned. We would just have some weird psychic link for a minute, I guess. And we're both like, hey, let's play this random ass Super Nintendo game. Maybe Mad World, Halo 4 for the first time, Resident Evil, Umbrella Chronicles. I actually beat that at work while working. So that was cool. I beat that with the youth. Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer. If this counts as a Zelda game, I said it in my beat tweet. If this counts as a Zelda game, it's my least favorite Zelda game.
Oh,
I really didn't enjoy it.
I just got it.
I'm sorry. But if you're probably going for complete Zelda collection kind of thing, where if I'd known about it, I probably wouldn't have even bothered. I'd be like, it doesn't count. It's just like the CDI games where I don't count the CDI games because I'm not throwing away a paycheck on hot garbage. But I guess
Zelda's Adventure.
I guess I threw away a portion of my paycheck on hot garbage because I really didn't. I got over it really quick. I was like already like I hate this, and I just got through it as fast as I could. But then I played a game I really did like on the Switch, and that was Dragon Marked for Death. If you don't got it, get it. If you do got it, put it on the list. Azure Striker Gunvolt 1, Zardion, random on Super Nintendo. I think it's the most attention any of my beat tweets have probably ever gotten. Like I rarely get a retweet at all. If I do, it's like 1, 2. But Zardion is apparently, it must be a thing. It must be a big thing in Japan. Because I never hear anyone talk about it over here. But people are like,
it's based on like Neon Genesis Evangelion or something in Japan.
It was like they were retweeting it, and like I couldn't read anything on their profile except for like in their bio it said something Zardion in their bio. So I'm like, does this motherfucker make Zardion? I don't know. But they were like seemed to all be working on some sort of Zardion project, and I was just like, this is cool. What a really random, like I expected no one to care, but it was probably like my most interactive with probably just in general tweet ever. So that was cool. Then I beat Adventures of Batman and Robin on Super Nintendo. That was not easy. Then I finished off Bravely Default, which I played a significant amount of, and this is kind of going to be a theme going forward. I started last year with like Witcher 3 and stuff like that, like games I've got significant progress in, and I really want to beat. And like, I really got to beat these games. Like, I don't know. I've said before, I'm really bad with first-party Nintendo games or Nintendo exclusives. I just drop them. And the 3DS games, the main reason for that is I used to bring my 3DS to work and play it on my lunch break all the time. I don't have a job where I really do that anymore. So I just kind of stopped because I don't play handhelds around the house. So I made it a goal to beat this game because I loved it, and the second one's coming out next month. Oh, excuse me, hiccup. And then yeah, so I'm happy to finally beat that.
Don't forget about Bravely Second.
Yeah, I know Bravely Second's another thing, but then Bravely Default 2 is coming. Pace myself. Yeah, I definitely want Bravely Default 2, and I would feel like a jackass buying it when I haven't even beat the first. But I do that all the time with games. Like I've got entire series that I haven't even started.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, like us with like probably both of us with Assassin's Creed. I had like the whole series, and I'm like, we should probably play these. Anyway, I played Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles. Yeah, the first one's garbage. Like it needs to just be cut from the fucking series. Like, yeah, it's really weird how the first Assassin's Creed they made was like Assassin's Creed 2. Maybe they were doing like a Star Wars thing. Starts with episode 2.
I still find it funny that game sprang an entire franchise. It's like, this is not good.
If you play the first couple hours, you're like, this is a really cool game. But then you keep repeating the same shit, and you're like, oh, they ran out of ideas like
instantly.
An hour in. Okay. Oh, they got more ideas for the second one. Second one's great. Anyway, next up, I beat Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles, then Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. That's an excellent collection. I really enjoyed those games, the Azure Striker Gunvolt games. I want to check out more of the series. I'm pretty sure the third one's either out now or coming out soon. I intend to check that out. Transformers Battlegrounds, that I picked it up a little while ago. We talked about it, the strategy Transformers game. It's pretty cool. It was a lot like Gears Tactics, but obviously less bloody and shorter. It's going to be Batman, the only Batman Arkham game I never beat. I finally have. And that's Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. Pretty cool 2.5D game. Then I beat Contra 4, and it was a Contra game, so it was hard.
Yep.
I beat Metal Slug 7. So I made it a point to get some handheld games out of the way. Then I started off this year, after the 160 last year. I'm at 6 now. And the first 5 were what I was saying would come up soon. And that's my finishing games that I had significant progress in.
The unfinished business project.
I beat Breath of the Wild finally. And I was surprised that Church never called me out on not beating it. We just talked about it so much when he beat it. I think he was like, oh, yeah, he feels how I feel because he also beat it. But I didn't. And he was shocked. He was like, shit, what? Huh? What? Huh? He didn't actually, Little John, but it's pretty much like that. I felt.
How did he beat it when he doesn't have a Switch?
He beat it on the Wii U like I did.
Oh,
yeah. I bought it when it came out on the Wii U, and we played it at my house. And then when he got the Wii U with Breath of the Wild, that was like, I think that's the only game he's ever beaten on it. Then I beat Hyrule Warriors because I got Age of Calamity for Christmas. And I was like, well, I know that's basically a follow-up to Breath of the Wild, but not a direct sequel, but it's got story elements from Breath of the Wild storyline. And I was like, but I feel like a jackass playing the second one when I hadn't completed the first one. And I think between Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Warriors, I played a little bit more Breath of the Wild now that I think of it. I think I said on the Game Tenants that Hyrule Warriors I played more, but it was, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was about 4 hours. And then I beat Luigi's Mansion 3, which is a game I have to be in the mood for, or else I find it really boring. But it's a great game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Okay. Well, I know we discussed this a little bit earlier. But yeah, so I've been chipping away at it. And when I'm in the mood for it, it's great. But when I'm not in the mood for it, I'm just like, I should get through that. I've been playing that for a bit. And I'm not in a real, Nintendo Ghostbusters mood. I just go, man, I'm not. Yeah, I turn it off. I feel myself like kind of falling asleep to it, but I don't know. That's a weird dynamic for a game I legitimately enjoyed, but I had to be in the mood to enjoy. And then I beat the game that I probably put the most hours into of the games I beat so far this year, and that's Fire Emblem Awakening. I was literally like 3-4 fights from like the very end of the game. And yeah,
is that the 3DS game?
Yeah, it's the game that got me into Fire Emblem. I have every Fire Emblem game now, but I didn't even beat the game that got me into it, so that's freaking weird.
Jason.
And then I beat Mario 3D World. I started playing with the kids, so they kind of helped. They helped me play it when it was pretty much new, and then they helped me play it a little bit here and there, but the bulk of it I beat by myself. But it felt good to finally beat this game because I really enjoyed it, and maybe I was just really in the mood for it after beating Luigi's Mansion 3. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to buy it on the Switch though. I don't know. Bowser's Fury looks cool, but sell it separately. Maybe
$20.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a huge markdown before I give a shit. And then the only game I've started and beaten this year was Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap, because I'm playing along with the Cartridge Club, and that's their game of the month. So I beat it on my night shift the other night in one sitting. It was really cool.
Nice.
And my only complaint, I love that you can switch back and forth between the retro visuals and music separately on the fly at any time. It's really cool. But there's no platinum. I got all the trophies, but it didn't give me no platty. So
sons of bitches.
So I'm throwing it out. Just kidding. But yeah,
I'm gonna be joining you on a couple of those though.
Yeah, I'm glad to get through it. Like I think actually the hardest part of the game is like an optional thing. There's these little side secret little challenge things you do for every form. And you got to find them throughout the world. They're just in the most random ass places. Like I had to look up where to find them because they're that hidden. And there's one for the mouse guy form. I think it's Mouse Man. And it's got the hardest platforming part of the whole game. And it's optional. So yeah, that was my biggest challenge. And it took me longer than I want to admit. It probably took me an hour to do this little thing. And usually the challenge things take maybe like under 5 minutes. But there's this part where you jump and then you jump and like latch onto the one, there's this like platform and then you gotta jump again onto another platform. So it's almost like metal storming style, but it's harder to control that power than Metal Storm. And the tiny platforms you gotta jump across. Anyway, that part was a pain in the ass, but the rest of the game was awesome. And I regret not getting to it sooner since I own the Master System version and the PS4 version. So
same here.
Love it. I'm I don't know. I'm not going to commit, but I want to try and maybe play through the other Wonder Boy games this month if I can. We got a half a month left, so we'll see. We'll see what I can do.
Do it.
I think I've got all the other ones, and then I've got the Monster Boy and whatever it's called, the one that came out after Dragon's Trap 3 remake. So I'll check that one out too. So
yeah,
I'll play through anything I've got anyway.
Since I took my Wii U out of mothballs to play the Conduit, I've left it hooked up, and the same thing that you were saying, like all these games that you had started and never finished, the same idea occurred to me, and I was just kind of like, I was at the last boss of Hyrule Warriors, and I've never actually completed it, so maybe I should go and try and do that. So I got to do that.
Awesome.
And then I was also kind of close to the end of Mario 3D World, and I was like, maybe I should do that while I got it hooked up, so I might do that as well.
Damn.
So I was kind of like, you're saying these games, I was going like, that's exactly what I was planning on doing.
Yeah, and like I'd consider a lot of those like, some of the marquee titles for the Wii U, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like I'm still trying to figure it out, what it is about the first party Nintendo games, like even Zelda. Like I've got freaking Link tattooed on my arm. I like Zelda that much, and like I don't know, did I not want it to be over, or was I saving some for when DLC came out? I don't know. But I just like never. I just drop games like, but I never do that with Xbox games or PlayStation games when I'm playing unless I hate the game. Like I'll play 100-hour other game, but I can't beat this like 10-hour Nintendo game for some reason. Like I don't know. I guess the whole Nintendo aesthetic I have to be in the mood for, or else I'll come back to it because there's, like I say, they're so pick up and play. They're easy to put down and pick up later because I know I can just pick up and play, and it's not like, oh, what's that move again? Like I know it's just a 2-button combination at most. So I'm like, it's not like playing an RPG where you come back a month later and you're like, well, I guess I'm starting this 40-hour venture over again, 40 hours in, because I don't know where I'm supposed to go. And I was actually really worried about that with Bravely Default, because I think I went back to it another time and it was like, where am I supposed to go? But this time when I picked it up, I didn't have that problem at all. So I don't know. I was just dumb last time I tried. But yeah, it's good. That's what I like about the Backlog Roulette, is that if you don't like the game that you got, or if you beat the game that you got,
At least I played it.
It opens up the realm of like, I got this hooked up. Why don't I throw some other shit in it?
Yeah.
And I definitely have been doing that a lot more with the cartridge games. Like if I got the NES out, I'm like, oh, look, where the stack came from. And I'll pop in, I'll make an afternoon of it and I'll just play a bunch of NES games or play a bunch of Genesis games. And that's what where it really shines for me, is that we can do shit like that. But anyway, that's my throat hurts. My throat's dry from talking about all that shit. But yeah, I didn't even report any of those beats until like yesterday, because I just kind of stayed off social media for the most part. Like I basically checked my notifications that like pop up on an app when you don't even have it open. Mm-hmm. And that was about it. And then like maybe I put in a short answer, but it wasn't a resolution. I was just kind of like, I'm not really feeling social. I'll talk to my buddies in Messenger or something, but that's about
Damn
it.
right. That's right, Broskito.
So I was like, I better report some of these beats before someone thinks I died again. So what have you been watching?
Oh, I've been watching a lot. The same with you and your beat list. That's been me.
It's the other way around. We're flip-flopping now.
Yeah, totes.
I can rest my vocal cords.
So at the end of each year, I always put together like a list of like my favorite and least favorite movies that I saw the previous year. And so I brought up a list online of the movies that came out in 2020, and so I could write down the names of the movies that I had written, and then I would organize them in my favorites. And as I'm looking through these lists, I'm like, when did these come out? I had no idea that some of this stuff has even existed. I didn't, when did that happen? And I realized that ever since COVID hit and like theaters have been shutting down, that a lot of these companies are like, we still got to make our money. Exactly. Let's just throw the movies on the streaming services and you have to like pay to rent them or whatever.
Except for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Fox. Don't worry, it's coming this summer supposedly.
If I can go somewhere and see it.
At the end of last year, I was on vacation for the last 2 weeks of the year. I was like, all these are on Amazon. I could rent all of these through the Amazon app. So let's start watching some fucking movies.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. So I went absolutely nuts. Like I want to say it started off with the big one, which was Wonder Woman 84, which I did not like at all. I did not like it one bit. I thought it was a huge step down from the first movie. I think having the World War One aspect of it.
James Earl Jones, and that is what grieves me the most.
Yes. I wanted to like it. I really did. It's got the fucking Mandalorian in it.
Yeah.
but it's the opposite of what the first one was. The first one was trying I like the fact that the DC movies are trying to be grittier than the Marvel movies. The Marvel movies always had a sense of humor.
DC's always kind of had a more for adults feel than my
yeah. And
like
the first Wonder Woman was like that. You had like the whole World War I aspect, so it's violent as hell. You have that great scene where she's walking through no man's land and all that. And this movie has none of that. This one just went complete cheese all the way through, and like
it's just campy as shit, or what?
It's campy. It's stupid ideas. The villains suck. Things don't make sense. Things aren't explained that are like big things that have to do with the plot. It's just maybe
they'll do what everyone was like rushing to tell me about Batman v Superman. It's like, oh, they're gonna release like an extended cut, and it'll make it all better. So hopefully they do that with Wonder Woman.
I don't think anything could fix it because you can't unsuck it. It's just
my ex, by the way.
The way, I mean, like everyone was like, how is Chris Pine's character coming back since he died in the first movie?
Yeah.
And the way he comes back is stupid. It makes no sense. It's just, it's dumb. It's just like things aren't explained. I mean, they mix in some fun stuff like the invisible jet's in there. They work that in, and and the way they do it is fine. I was like, okay, that's a interesting way to do it.
So the stupidest thing about Wonder Woman was actually probably the least stupid things about the movie.
Yeah, but then I mean, these are going to be some spoilery things, but like in the comic books, Wonder Woman can fly.
Yeah,
in the cartoons she flies. Well, they figure out a way to make her fly, and when it happens, it's stupid as hell. I mean, the invisible jet is better than the way she figures out how to fly. And it's just like it's everything about it. Like, I hate the villains. Kristen Wiig sucks. Cheetah sucks. It's everything about it's just like,
yeah. When I heard she was going to be a villain, I'm like, I hope this is a Heath Ledger situation where I'm like, really?
I've seen her in movies where she has to be serious and she's not bad. It's just, I don't think she's super villain good. And she doesn't. It's not that she plays the part bad. It's just the part's badly written.
That sucks.
So it's just everything about it just really disappointed me. And I was just like, when it was over, like I wanted to watch it in the theater with my mother on Christmas Day. Like we had made plans to go to the theater, and then we realized that like a week before Christmas, like all the theaters in the Chicagoland area shut down. Like nothing's open anymore. So I was like, and my mom doesn't have any of the apps at her house when I was visiting, so we couldn't watch it there. So like Christmas Day, I went out there, spent the day with my mom, had made dinner and all that kind of stuff, and I ran home so I could watch this bitch, and it sucked. Not calling Wonder Woman a bitch, I'm talking just the movie.
Yeah. And
it disappointed the living hell out of me. Like when it was over, I went like, I actually said it out loud this is like 2 a.m, and I say like, I'm like, what was that? Like, really?
Yeah, this makes me sad, but I'm still gonna watch it
twice. Or lightning doesn't strike twice with this one.
I'm still gonna watch it.
You gotta watch it.
My hype's a little deflated because, like, to be honest, Wonder Woman was probably my favorite DC movie so far, like for the DCU anyway.
When the first movie came out, I told all the friends that I was with, I was like, this is the comic book character that I've been wanting to see a movie of for decades.
Yeah, like
so this has a lot to live up to in my mind. And the first one I thought did exactly that. It lived up to everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah, and a lot of people seem to like the Ben Affleck Batman. And it's not just because I don't like Ben Affleck. Like, I just really don't like his Batman. There's that scene in the warehouse in Batman v Superman where he kicks the shit out of all those guys.
Where it's just like the video games?
That was the coolest thing he's done, and anything else has just been like it's pretty bad, but I've got like hope that Robert Pattinson will do better.
I know you watch him in Tenet, and you'll be like, okay, I see he can do it.
Yeah, like I'm not just going, oh, the Twilight guy.
Yeah, like he even regrets those. He hated making those movies.
That was just his big cash in movie.
That got him his name in Hollywood.
Yeah, like in Harry Potter, but
yeah,
he didn't get very long in there. So, spoilers if you haven't seen Harry Potter. I won't say just forget anything I said. But
yeah, it's just really disappointing. The story is dumb. I did not like it at all. So
bummer.
that's why I'm gonna leave it
It's
there.
bummer, but I can't say it's completely unexpected from DC. I was just hoping they'd continue to do right by Wonder Woman.
Well, they immediately greenlit a third movie after that came out, so we'll see.
Well, maybe they can redeem it.
Well, I'm hoping because Patty Jenkins is directing that Rogue Squadron movie, so that better not suck.
Oh man, I hope it has as good as graphics as the N64 game.
I know, right? Especially when you have the expansion pack.
Yeah. Woo! My expansion pack shit.
That'll be the difference between Blu-ray and 4K.
Yeah. It's gonna be so great.
But anyway, so then I started going and watching all the movies that I had missed over the course of the year, which I'm just going to go through these real quick.
Okay.
So I watched Soul on Disney Plus, the Pixar movie with Jamie Foxx, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, I seen most of it, but I think I had to go to work. But yeah, it was great.
It's really good. Everyone seems to say that Up is the one that like makes them like emotionally get like punched in the gut a little bit
Because it does it right off the bat.
Yeah, this one is the one that kind of did that to me because I was sitting there going like, wow, this movie's making me feel things.
It seemed like it was almost like not exactly, but kind of a spinoff to the Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah, that's what I was saying too.
And my favorite thing that has to do with the movie is this meme I saw. It was the dude from Soul, but he was just jacked, and it was called Swole instead. That made me laugh overly hard. Like, it wasn't that funny. And I don't even think I was that tired. It caught me at the right time, and I laughed my fucking ass off at it. But anyway.
Yeah, but I love Soul. Soul was great. That was one of my favorite movies last year. Then I watched this movie called Possessor, which is directed by David Cronenberg's son.
I think I've heard of it.
It got a lot of flack because it got released in an uncut form, and that never really happened. So it was like released unrated. And it's basically like the whole idea is like in the future, the way you can assassinate people is you have these special people who put these like this apparatus on your head. You can take over somebody else's body with your mind and use them as the assassin so they can take the blame instead of you. And the person who's doing it, the guy whose body she has taken over, kind of retakes his body while she's in there, and they kind of have like a fight, an internal fight.
Huh.
And it's David Cronenberg does body horror movies. This one has some of that in there too. It's got some effed up stuff going on in it, and it has a really messed up ending. It's good, but it's not great. I liked it, but it just kind of ends.
Okay. Just kind of fizzles out. Doesn't really.
Yeah. It just kind of goes like, we're going to give you this like fucked up moment. Movie over. Yeah. I was just kind of like, oh, okay. But I mean, it was cool. I mean, I liked it. It was weird. It was different. And then I watched Jiu-Jitsu.
And?
I wanted to watch it because it had Tony Jaa in it, who is like one of my favorite martial arts stars from Thailand. Yes, Ong Bak is amazing. I should have known better because it also said on the title and Nicolas Cage. And then when I was watching the movie, I went to IMDb and I looked it up, and they had said the reason Nicolas Cage made this movie is because his character has a sword fight with an alien. And it is terrible. It is the worst thing I saw last year. It is so bad. It is like, I mean, it has some cool things going for it. They shoot the fight scenes in such a way that they make sense and you can see everything that's happening, which is great. And the fight scenes are really good.
Oh yeah, I hate a fight when everything's just blurry.
Yeah,
like,
I hate super zoomed in fight scenes. Here they're pulled back. That doesn't cut very often. So like you've got like these shots that are following people as they're fighting, and that was really good. The people they hired were actual martial artists most of the time, so it looked good. It was the first movie ever to film in Cyprus, ever.
What the hell's that?
In Greece.
Oh,
so yeah,
okay.
And I mean, so that was kind of cool. That it was like, oh, we got some new places we haven't seen in movies before. That's kind of neat. But it's just the movie's just this big old mess of like every 6 years a comet shows up and an alien shows up to fight people. He actually came to Earth 3,000 years ago and gave us jiu-jitsu so we could fight him.
That checks out.
It's so bad. It is so bad in every way. It is so dumb. It is so horrible. It's horrible. There's
one shining thing about that though. makes it so Wonder Woman wasn't the worst thing you saw last year.
Yeah,
So,
it was originally Wonder Woman was originally the worst thing I saw. Now it is Jiu-Jitsu.
I'll take the wins.
Then I watched Underwater, which is the Kristen Stewart underwater monster movie, which was actually pretty good.
Huh.
I like it's on HBO Max for free. Well, it's not free if you pay for the app, but it's on HBO Max. So I was just kind of like, oh yeah, that did come out in 2020. Let's watch that. I really enjoyed it. It's got a very cool idea behind it, and it never stops. It's always constantly something's going on. It's just an hour and a half of nothing, of nonstop shit.
Like you were saying about the jiu-jitsu movie. Like I hate nothing more in a movie when there's like this intense fight scene, but you're like, it's going so fast. Like like I said, we said before, I like the majority of the Transformers movies, or like at least good parts of them.
Mm-hmm.
But like the first one especially is really bad for like just blurry roboticness.
Yeah, I get what they were trying to do with the first movie. Yeah, the first one that he was trying to show everything from the humans' point of view, like from their height.
Yeah.
So the camera was always looking up at them, but it didn't really make for a fight that made sense visually.
Yeah, but there's somewhat it's fast-paced fighting, and you're just seeing a bunch of same colors,
a bunch of things moving around. Yeah,
especially if they're even like similar colored. You're like,
yeah, it's a mess. Yeah,
who am I rooting for?
Eventually, they just pulled the camera back, and we're like, okay, we're gonna let you see things now.
Yeah, like I don't care if I'm watching from a helicopter. I don't need to watch from ground level. Yeah, like I get from an artistic standpoint, whatever, but I'm like, I just want to see robots fight.
Yeah, I think that's why he fixed it in the sequels. I mean, if there's one thing I can give Revenge of the Fallen, which I absolutely hate, I mean, I was just like, at least I can make sense of the fight scenes in that one. But I give Michael Bay credit for trying to do something cool with the fights by having it all be from like the human height.
Yeah. They do a lot of kind of original or not overused camera stuff in that movie actually.
Yeah,
but anyway, sorry about the Transformers.
Cool.
I'm looking at a pile of Transformers and it kind of brought it to light. Sorry.
Well, I would feel bad if you didn't bring them up at least once every podcast. So
well, they'll be brought up again.
Then I watched what ended up being one of my favorite movies of the year, and I told you about this one. It's called The Hunt.
Yeah.
Which I equated to watching Evil Dead 2 with politics standing in for the demons. And I'm going to leave it at that.
But I like demons.
Well, it's like Evil Dead 2, where it starts off and you think it's going to be like a serious horror movie, and then like it starts to like introduce like silly concepts, and then they just keep on amping it up as the movie goes. Same thing with this. You think you're watching this movie that's going to be like all about the Republican versus the Democrat thing that's going on currently. And then as the movie keeps going, it starts getting sillier and sillier and funnier and funnier. And then you're like,
so
why is there a 2-time Oscar winner in this movie?
Well, they're saying it gets sillier and sillier. You're like, so it's directly copying your politics right now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like what's going on?
But it is so fun. Like I thought it was just going to be this like gore fest type movie, the way people are making it sound. But it is really fun. It is very entertaining to watch. I had a blast watching it. I loved it.
Well, I will add it to my list of stuff because you've never given me a recommend that's let me down. So any of the ones I've watched anyway so far.
Yeah.
I do have a list.
What were you saying?
No, I do have a list. Like when you recommend something, I put it on a list. Like it's right under my beats list actually. So I slowly take care of them. Sometimes right away. It's whenever I think about it, I'm like, oh, I should check out one of these. It's free.
Then I watched Promising Young Woman, which everyone keeps on putting like on their top movies of 2020 list. And I'm not going to ruin anything because it's very dark, but it's a woman goes to bars pretending to be drunk so she can pick up the guys that would normally try to assault women in that state, and then gives them like a what for.
Hell yeah.
But it gets progressively darker and darker and darker as the movie goes along, and it ends up in a really messed up place, and it's really, really good. It's got Carey Mulligan in it, who was in Drive and the Great Gatsby movie that came out with DiCaprio a few years ago.
Okay.
It's really, really good. I like it a lot. It's not something you want to watch when you want to watch something light. You have to be in the mood for it.
Okay.
Then I watched Train to Busan Presents Peninsula, which is the sequel to Train to Busan, and it sucked ass.
Yeah, I remember you told me that when I was all like, hey, I got this And you're like, oh, I heard it's poop. I'm like,
yeah, I watched it on Amazon, and everything that I had heard about it being nothing but like CGI car chases and stuff is true. It's trying to be Train to Busan and Fast and the Furious combined.
sigh. I like Train to Busan, but I dislike Fast and Furious. So
It's
I don't know. I
it's
haven't
not
opened
good.
it yet. Maybe I could just bring it back.
It is not good. There's cool stuff. Like I said, there's cool stuff in it. There's some stuff that they stole right out of like the Walking Dead comic books. But like when it comes to the overused car stuff in it, it's just like, can we just move on?
Yeah, that's a bummer because I really did like Train to Busan.
I did too. I loved it.
So
Kind of disappointing. And the thing that makes me laugh the most is when the characters end up coming back to Korea to do the thing that needs to be done in the movie. I'm not going to ruin anything. They have to drive to the place. And the thing is, before the apocalypse happened, everyone who was on the highways and pretty much any street in Korea, before they decided to abandon their cars and or die in their cars, they all decided to pull off the side of the road so that the roads are completely empty and you can just drive through it without stopping once.
that was nice and considerate of them.
I know, right? It's almost like they thought that this movie might happen or these characters might show up here and have to use the highways all the time.
I'm dying, but
Every single car that's on, I mean, and there were nothing but cars along the highway.
Well,
Every one of them has been pulled off to the side of the road, so the roads are empty.
Well, anything I know about Asian culture is they are a lot more polite. So maybe that is a thing they think of, like, I'm dying, but not everyone has to die because I'm a selfish asshole. All right, better parallel park to make.
I laughed every time they showed like an aerial shot of the highways. I was like, what? Every single highway was like that. Every single one, every road, everything. It is. I was like, yeah,
well, as
you guys.
polite as they are, I'm not gonna. That's gonna take me out of it. I'm like, there's got to be like one asshole that parked in the middle of the road.
No, none. unless it's integral to the plot.
Or maybe someone who escaped was in one of those giant plow trucks that plowed everything to the side. I do those mental gymnastics to enjoy things that are crap sometimes.
Might be overthinking it this time.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll bring it back.
I mean, you might like it. I mean, it's just me. I mean, my opinion is not the final word at all.
You said Fast and Furious, though. Yeah.
It's just like the chase. There's way too much car stuff in it and then they basically try to mimic the ending of the first movie to make you cry, and you're like, stop it, just stop it already, just stop it. Like you're not fooling me. Train to Busan.
I don't like these I don't like these characters at all. Yeah.
But then I watched Freaky, which was very entertaining. It's basically Freaky Friday in a horror movie form, where Vince Vaughn plays a serial killer, and he stabs a young high school girl with this cursed knife, and they end up switching bodies. So now Vince Vaughn has the mind of a young girl in him, and the young girl has the mind of a serial killer in him. And it's very funny. It's very clever at times, I thought. And Vince Vaughn fucking kills it.
That's incredible. Yeah.
That is great. Vince Vaughn pretending to be an awkward teenage girl is one of the funniest things I've seen all year. Like it looks like he is just enjoying the shit out of himself too. Especially when like he has to hit on the boy that the female version is in love with as a man. It is so funny to watch happen. It is so good.
I gotta shout out the first of the new Jumanji movies.
Mm-hmm. The same thing, yes.
That's probably one of the only things I like really enjoyed about that movie. Like people were like, "You got to see this. This movie's amazing." And then Church and I watched it, and I was just like, "It's okay. Some parts were funny, but it wasn't like
it's got a handle."
Yeah, like some stuff was pretty funny, but like not every it wasn't as good as they were cracking it up to be. So I still haven't seen the second one. Yeah,
the second one's good too. The second one's good too. They switch it up a lot. It's really funny.
But being awkward in their new bodies was probably like one of the best comedy parts in that.
Yeah, it's really good. And honestly, it is an R-rated horror movie at the same time as it being funny. So there are a lot of really good kills in Freaky.
Damn, I'll have to look into that then.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Then I watched The Craft Legacy, the Craft Part 2.
And was it worth it?
No, it's not that it's bad. It's that it just feels like it's a setup for a new franchise that they want to do.
That's one of those things where you're like, you're trying too hard. Make it its own, like kind of like.
Well, it doesn't copy. They make it. The trailer made me think that it was going to be a carbon copy of the first movie because they're like, oh look, this awkward young girl comes to school. There's 3 girls already practicing witchcraft. They're like, you need to be our 4th. And then bad things happen, and one of them's going to go bad. It doesn't even happen like that. It's nothing like that.
Well, that's good.
But the thing is, it's like there's really nothing going on in the movie because the bad guy just randomly shows up at the end of the movie and goes, "I'm the bad guy," and they're like, "Poof, you're gone," and there's nothing happening in it. And then like the last thing that happens in the movie feels like a setup for a series. And I'm like,
I hate that one. That's like, how did this movie get made? And then they set up for a sequel, and you're like, please no.
Yeah, and it's like, and it connects it to the first movie. And I'm just kind of like, why didn't you do that at the very beginning, at least? And then we would have had a movie because there is no movie there. There's really nothing going on, but it's well made. It's well acted. David Duchovny's in it, for Christ's sake. And Michelle Monaghan from the Mission Impossible movies. I'm like, and the young girl who was the Jaeger pilot in the second Pacific Rim. Okay. She's the lead girl in it, the one that is the new 4th in the group of the Coven. Okay. And it's not a bad movie, but like I said, it's a lot of nothing. Yeah. And then, here's some special effects, and then, now the interesting thing is going to happen and the movie's over. But
it doesn't just try to like ape on.
No, it's not. It's not a carbon copy at all. It's nothing like the first one at all.
Well, that's good.
Other than the fact that there's witches in it.
Is it one of those movies where if they just didn't even attach the name to it, it would be a better movie as a result?
Yeah, because I came with the expectation that I was going to see a lot of stuff from the first movie in there, like stuff like the first movie, and it's nothing like that at all.
That's how I felt about like the new Child's Play. Like if they didn't call it Child's Play and just made it a killer robot doll movie, I liked it. With it. I liked it. That's how I watched it. Like I'm watching it just like kind of how I approached Answer the Call. Like I'm going to pretend I've never heard of Ghostbusters, and I've very clearly heard of Ghostbusters. Yeah. And I still didn't like Answer the Call, but with Child's Play, when I approached it like that,
it's not bad.
Because you're drawing comparison. Yeah. And especially if you've got nostalgia there, no one's going to like it as much as So when I watched it like that, I liked it a lot. Yeah. I actually liked that movie a lot. But
yeah, the Craft movie is actually a sequel. It's not like a reboot or anything because it's connecting back to the original movie at the very end. So it's kind of like, okay. But not a lot happens in the movie. So I would say, yeah. Then I watched The Doorman. Okay. Which the only reason I watched it, I didn't even know it was a thing, but the guy who directed it is this guy named Ryuhei Kitamura, who's like one of my favorite like directors from Japan. Okay. He did Godzilla Final Wars. He did this movie called Versus, which I love. He did a live action anime movie called Azumi. And then he came over to America in like the mid 2000s and he made the Midnight Meat Train. Okay. And then he made this other one called No One Lives, which I didn't really like. And it's like his American movies have slowly gotten worse and worse. And then which one? Yeah, Midnight Meat Train I thought was great. That was like the best of his American movies.
I don't even know why I watched. I think it was when my wife was managing the movie gallery before they went under. I think it was like one of the new movies, and I'm like, check it out. If it sucks, it didn't cost us anything. Yeah. And I was like, because of the name makes it sound stupid, or like I grabbed it from the wrong section and it's a porno. Actually way better than I was like I had any right.
I'm gonna pull a Midnight Meat Train on this sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
but Clive Barker. It's Clive Barker, so I had to see it. But yeah, he made it, and it is like this super low budget ripoff of Die Hard in an apartment building that is empty, and Ruby Rose is the lead in it.
Okay.
And she is an ex-Marine that kicks ass like John McClane, and she is rail thin and anorexic looking, and she's beating the shit out of people 3 times her size.
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah, but it's not good. It is one of the worst things I saw. It is so bad. And the thing is, Ryuhei Kitamura, the reason I like him so much is he has a really awesome visual flair, and he uses none of it in here. It's like it looked like a TV movie.
Poop.
Which I was like, what, did they give you like a budget of $350? You couldn't afford a decent cinematographer? I'm like, what the fuck? Or most likely, he was just kind of like rent is due. I got to shoot this movie as fast as possible.
That sucks.
Yeah. Then I watched this movie called The Dark and the Wicked, which is like a real slow burn horror movie like The Witch.
Okay.
Like the patriarch of this family is like slowly dying, and his two kids come to help the mother, and the mother commits suicide for no reason. And there's just like this dark, oppressive thing hovering over the house that it just gets worse as the movie goes on. It's really good. It takes a while to get going, but when he gets there, it's like, okay.
I don't mind a slow burn with a good payoff. Like
it does. This one is like, I want to say even for like the first 45 minutes of the movie, I'm like, is there something? Is there a point to all this shit?
Yeah, like,
or are you just like doing a lot of like slow, like shots of people slowly turning toward the door, and then like the slow pushing on the door? Is there something on the other side of the door? Type of shit.
Yeah, there's nothing more angering than a slow burn with no payoff. And you're like,
yeah, it's worth it.
Do I have to those old discs where I got to flip it over and the rest of like it's on the other side of the disc?
Yeah, it's got a really good creep factor to it, so I recommend it.
Cool.
Then I watched Greenland, which is a disaster movie with Gerard Butler, which I really enjoyed. It's another. I want to say, out of all these movies I watched 3 of them that have to do with bad asteroids.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just the movies I watch, but I haven't seen him in a lot lately.
Yeah,
he was like the guy for a while.
Yeah,
and then he just vanished.
No, now he makes those Whatever Has Fallen movies, and that's it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, besides those, I don't recall seeing him in anything.
But Greenland, Greenland's about a comet that's going to crash into the Earth. So it's like a disaster movie, but instead of it having to be about a bunch of different groups of people like all over the world, and then like at the end they always end up like meeting up and dealing with it together, it just focuses on his family, and that's it. And like it isn't focused on things blowing up and destruction and shit like that. It's all just about like his family trying to get to safety, and that's why I liked it, because it was different from all the other disaster movie shit that's out there. Definitely was not a Roland Emmerich disaster movie.
I like something that switches it up, kind of doesn't just ape on other shit. There's nothing I can stand less than that shit.
And the acting is really good in it too. I mean, it's Gerard Butler and Marina Baccarin from the Deadpool movies plays his wife, and it's really good. I liked it a lot. I was surprised because the new aspect they did it with, instead of it being about like Michael Bay blowing up every major city, here you just kind of hear it happening, or you might see it on the news.
Okay, I've seen her in something else too. That
she was on Firefly and Serenity.
No, it was like something newer. It was
like Gotham.
Not on Gotham. Which, by the way, speaking of which, Batman's butler gets a fucking show.
I don't want to talk about
it. That's how cool Batman is.
I don't want to talk about it.
But the funny thing I think about is that Teen Titans Go to the movies, the animated movie, they made a joke where Robin was like, they were announcing all these things coming out in the theater, and Robin was all like, they're like, his sidekick, his number one confidant gets a movie finally, and he's standing up like, yeah, and they're like, Alfred the movie, and then they're like, something that he can't live without, like his most dependable utility, and they'd be like, the car, the Batmobile movie, and he's like, and it's just like shit like that, just everything. It's just setting up for it being about Robin, and then they're like, yeah, you're a joke, dude. You don't get a movie.
Yeah, you're Robin.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
That was funny that they made a joke about it in the movie. Then we were just watching TV at work, and I saw Pennyworth, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I know, right? I was just kind of like, no, what?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Then I watched Get Duked, which is an Amazon original that's about a bunch of kids in Scotland who are like troublemakers, get sent to the Scottish Highlands to do like this wilderness retreat thing, and they end up getting hunted by a bunch of old people. And it's meant to be a comedy, but I didn't find it very funny.
Oh wow!
So I was kind of disappointed with it.
It was like
it had a lot of
You said it was like an English show.
It's a British movie.
So
it's like,
sometimes their humor doesn't really translate. Like
it's just like
dry. Or
kids aren't kids. The kids that are supposed to be the leads in the movie just aren't likable. If I'm supposed to root for them to, survive and all that kind of stuff, I was just kind of like,
So it's more like Friday the 13th protagonist. You're like, oh, they're doing a good job making me hate
Friday the 13th remake. Yeah.
where they make you hate every single person except the one that you know is going to survive.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you're going to survive because I don't hate you.
Then I watched Borat's subsequent movie film, and I didn't really like it. I think the humor kind of made sense when the original came out. It was funny, but now I watch it and I got embarrassed.
There's the Giuliani scene was really unsettling.
Yeah. Well, just a lot of it. I'm sitting there going like...
It was hit and miss for me. There's some parts I thought were pretty funny, and then other parts
like the scripted stuff I thought was kind of funny. But like the stuff with like when the Borat takes his daughter to go get plastic surgery and she's like, "Yeah, I want to be sexually assaulted."
Yeah.
And then he looks at the doctor. He's like, "Would you sexually assault my daughter?" And he goes like, "Well, if your dad wasn't here." I was like, "Am I supposed to laugh at that?" I was like, "This isn't funny."
Yeah. It was some parts that were supposed to be funny were just pure cringe. And
I was cringing a lot. And plus, since it deals a lot with Trump and the current political situation here in the U.S., I was just kind of like embarrassed watching it because like, this is the country I live in.
Yeah, I can see this is probably not scripted. I can see this just absolutely happening without any assistance.
Yeah, so I was just really embarrassed while I was watching, and I wasn't finding it a lot of it funny.
Yeah.
So that was just me. Then I watched Fat Man, which is amazing. Mel Gibson playing Santa Claus.
Yeah, I think that's on. I want to say Netflix or maybe just Prime here, and I don't think it's like a to rent movie. I think I can actually just watch that shit. So I'll check it out. The
idea behind it is like in the world the movie takes place, and Santa Claus is a real guy, and everybody knows him. And Mel Gibson plays him, and he sends this little asshole rich kid a lump of coal for Christmas, and the kid gets so mad he puts a hit out on Santa Claus. And shit goes down.
Well, I think I want to see that.
It is amazing. It is played super straight.
I feel like I'm a few weeks late on it, but that might be one that's worth checking out a season. But
it is awesome. I was just like, this is fantastic. Why did I not? I would have definitely seen that in the theater if it was playing out here. I was laughing so hard. It is so good.
I have no idea if our theater is even open across the border because I'm not going to beat the dead horse. But I haven't been able to go and check.
Yeah,
but I haven't heard about anyone else going to movies that I know over there, so I'm just going to assume it's closed, which sucks.
And then the last one I watched was called Love and Monsters, which is another asteroid was hurtling towards Earth, and we sent a bunch of nukes out to destroy it, and they destroyed it, but all the fallout that falls down back on Earth mutates anything that's cold-blooded into a gigantic monster that eats people. So people have retreated underground.
Go on.
And the lead is the kid from the Maze Runner movies.
Okay, I don't think I've seen any of those.
The first one's pretty good. I like that one. But so the main character is in a bunker, an underground bunker with a bunch of other survivors. His girlfriend is in a bunker. He finds out like 7 years after he'd gone into this bunker to begin with. Like she's only like 85 miles away. So he has to make this like trek across like this hellscape to get there. And it's really well made. It's really funny. The special effects are really good. The creature designs are really cool. Michael Rooker shows up in it at one point. Yondu.
Yeah.
It's really good. I like it a lot. It's funny. It's clever. It has an awesome dog in it.
Awesome dogs.
An awesome dog in a movie. The dog is the shit. The dog almost acts like a person. It's really, really fun. I liked it a lot. My brother kind of recommended it to me, and then I saw that it was streaming on. You could rent it on Amazon. So I was like, "Oh, it's $7." I'm like, "Okay." And I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. I actually watched it like right before we did the podcast today.
Neat.
I liked it a lot.
Damn, you've been watching a lot. Well, mine's gonna be pretty short. I started from the beginning of the show Letterkenny. Watched the shit out of it, and I only have like the last season to watch. Good show, Canadian show. Yeah, check it out. I like it.
I like it a lot.
I do. As far as movies, I think I had one. I mentioned one I was going to talk about. I don't remember what it was.
Oh,
Must not have been that important. But I avoided watching Catwoman today, so that bears a.
that is a platinum trophy right there, sir.
Here we go. Yeah. I don't know.
You've platinumed life. You avoided watching Catwoman.
Pretty much. I've been watching. One of these days, I've never gotten through that movie. We were talking about it, but I just need to mention it again. I've tried and never been able to get through that movie.
Consider yourself lucky.
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna make it a. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sometime this year. I'm gonna watch that entire movie.
All you need to know is Sharon Stone plays a character whose skin turns into stone.
Yeah.
Because of makeup.
I've watched up to the basketball scene. I can't.
I said, CGI cat sitting on Halle Berry's chest. It's like, stop.
It's an entire movie with the same level of I hate this and my skin is crawling. I'm itching like a drug addict just because I'm so uncomfortable with everything that's going on, and I feel so bad for everyone involved. And it's a whole movie of the same level of cringe as Daredevil meeting Elektra in the Daredevil movie.
And then fight on the playground.
Yes, it's that for whatever the runtime is, 2 hours.
Yeah,
6 hours. No one knows.
Bad. It's bad.
You're looking at your watch the entire time, but you're like, it's not moving.
Stop the pain.
It's not been a second. I feel like I've been watching for 4 hours already. Yeah. So this year, I hate myself, so I'm gonna watch.
You're a glutton for punishment.
I'm gonna have someone nearby on like suicide watch, and I'm just gonna watch this movie all the way through. I know I'm not gonna uncover some just pearl of awesomeness. I don't know what I'm doing, but I will.
Yeah. Don't forget, you live in a world where Halle Berry actually showed up at the Golden Raspberries to accept her award for worst actress in that movie.
Yep. That's
after winning an Oscar the year before.
At least you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You're welcome.
That's probably the best part to come from that. Yeah. I don't care for her in general, but yeah, Catwoman. Ooh. Yeah, like I was telling you right before we started, the day started off great at work because on the TV, we watched Batman 89, then Batman Returns. And I'm like, oh, is this a whole Batman day? Without looking at the guide, another movie started. And I'm like, oh, hell no, let's watch anything. It's about the only time where I would rather suggest, like, oh, as some kind of sport on we could watch.
So could we watch Batman and Robin?
Wow, that sounds great right now.
Yeah, Batman and Robin like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I won't turn my eyes away from it. Like, great movie.
Hey guys, chill.
Funny thing is, somebody claimed that was their favorite Batman movie today.
Batman and Robin. I
don't want to disrespect them in public, but they actually said, they're like, oh yeah, they're like, yeah, I think these ones are okay while watching Batman 89. He goes, and like I like the newer ones, but he's like, Batman and Robin was like my shit. That's like my favorite. And I was like, is it time to go home yet? I've only been here an hour. Fuck. And
I like watching it just so I could pick on it as I watch it.
But comparatively, it's a fucking masterpiece to Catwoman.
at least you could say, as bad as Batman and Robin is, it's well made. Like the set designs are cool, the costumes are cool, everything is cool. Everything else is shit. But
the suits.
At least the technical. I mean, it's shot really well. The music is really good. It's just the technical aspects are good, but everything else about it sucks.
They got Arnold in it.
Yeah, that's my favorite part is the shit that comes out of that man's mouth in that movie is fucking gold.
That was the pinnacle.
It's a gold town.
They're like, we got one-liners for some reason that we want Mr. Freeze to say. Usually the soft-spoken man of few words is in one-liners.
It's the pun machine. The puninator.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, chill.
Yeah. So I'd rather watch that 6 times in a row than Catwoman. But for some reason, I hate me, and I'm gonna watch.
Catwoman is the film equivalent of herpes.
Yeah. The herpes that doesn't go away. It's just a constant outbreak.
Every year.
You can't hide it. It's just always there.
It's that cold sore on your lip.
It's spreading. You look like Two-Face. That's how bad it's gotten.
Oh man.
Yeah. Poor Two-Face.
That's what happens when you let a cat sit on your face.
Yeah. So let's talk about things that aren't awful, like video games.
Yeah.
I like arcade games.
I like arcade games too.
I'm not huge on the arcade one-ups, but they got me looking. They got some pretty cool machines.
I have one in my collection. I have the Mortal Kombat one.
Yes, you do.
As I should.
For the right price, I'd pick some up, but
they're starting to discount the older ones now at like Walmart's.
I want Ninja Turtles, but I don't want it bad enough to pay more than $100 for it.
Yeah, I hear you.
And like, the Marvel ones. But my plug and play is good for most of that stuff. But some of this stuff isn't on there. Like Killer Instinct.
What's that you say?
Killer Instinct isn't. But
It could be.
they have a machine coming out.
I know.
What's all on that?
So their recent announcement, I think, was it CES?
Yeah, I think so.
was when they announced it.
Like this last week.
They're releasing like a rare cabinet, and that's got the first and second Killer Instincts on it, the Battletoads arcade game, and Battletoads and Double Dragon arcade game.
How good? How cool is that?
That's cool enough that I'm definitely going to be plunking down the money to get it.
Well, cool. Can't wait to see it.
Because I've always said that if I had the means to buy arcade games, actual arcade cabinets, real ones,
Yeah.
the two I would buy would be Mortal Kombat 2 and Killer Instinct. And I already have the Mortal Kombat 2 one up, and I'm definitely getting the Killer Instinct one.
Excellent. There's something. I like fighting games. I like those games. But I do like Marvel games a whole lot.
Yeah, you do.
They're finally fixing a huge error of not putting the X-Men game out. So
Yeah.
we're getting a 4-player X-Men cab with also Captain America and the Avengers. And the Avengers and whatever. Blah, 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 I don't remember.
Yeah, it's Captain America and the Avengers. Sorry.
Avengers and Omega something? Isn't it? I don't know.
Oh, X-Men, Captain America and the Avengers, and the Avengers in Galactic Storm,
That one.
which I've never heard of.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah,
So-
so we'll see.
X-Men
But-
is a constant play around my house, especially with that plug and play.
hmm
But it's only got 2 sticks, so I could get all the kids distracted.
Well,
Well,
this
I
is the
do-
cool part is they're actually going to have 6 sticks on that one.
Are they?
Yeah, it's a 5. It's going to have something original cabinet controls for the player 5 and player 6 on it. And it's also going to have online multiplayer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I miss like when they released it on the Xbox 360. I played
I had it on my phone.
online. I played a bunch of it online.
I think I still have it on my iPod.
And the Turtles was the Turtles Resheltered. I think it was Turtles Resheltered. Maybe it was just the original arcade game had Xbox Live on it too, and I love that shit.
Mm.
And they got another pretty cool one.
Yep. Dragon's Lair 2, and Space Ace.
Yeah, miss me with that. I've never been big on those games, but they are cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're history. I mean, they were ahead of their time back then. I mean,
Yeah.
quick time the game,
Yeah, quick time, quick death.
but I
I'm
can
sure-
play that on my phone if I really wanted to, so there's really no point in getting an arcade cab unless you were like a super Don Bluth fan.
Yeah, I'm not. So
Yeah,
I mean-
I can live without it.
people who
I'm sure Michael B. the James Genie will buy it.
he'll buy all of them. I think.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's going to have to buy a new house just for these damn things.
I mean, they're short enough. If he doesn't have them on risers, he could
No,
probably
he
just
has every one of them on a riser, trust me.
have them on a riser. He could probably just stack them.
Yeah. Put them on a shelf and get a ladder.
Just lean it so you can just look up at it on top of one of the other ones. There you go. Michael B., I'm saving you space, bud.
Yeah, verticality, bro. But they're also releasing these like legacy cabinets, which I think is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
So what they're doing now is they're combining all the games that have been on separate arcade cabinets through 1UP. Now they're all in one. So there was one that just had Asteroids and Asteroids Deluxe on it. Now you're going to get one that has Asteroids, Asteroids Deluxe, Centipede, Major Havoc, Missile Command, Aka-R, Crystal Castles, Tempest, Millipede, Gravitar, Liberator, and Space Duel all on one.
Yeah, that's something I've been kind of saying since the beginning. Like before I had my arcade stick, was like, really, the price? It's got like between 2 and 4 games on it. I don't think I've seen one with more than 4. Maybe there are. I'm just not thinking of them right now. But I'm like, they should be doing like a company one, like a Capcom one, a Data East one, a Konami
exactly
one,
what they got right here.
an Atari one. But like they should have been doing that from the get-go. But they can get people to pay like the $400 or whatever they decide for 4 games. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
that's something that was not right with me. That's why I've always said, like, for clearance, I'm definitely interested in some of these, but I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, they're re-releasing Street Fighter, like the Street Fighter one.
Yeah,
but this has every Street Fighter game, including the first game. It's Street Fighter 2, 2 Championship Edition, 2 Turbo, Super 2, Super 2 Turbo, Strider, Ghosts and Goblins Final Fight, Darkstalkers, at least. I don't think that has been released on one of them yet.
I don't think so.
Commando in 1944. Then there's like a Bandai Namco one. That's Dig Dug 1 and 2, Galaga, Galaxian, Mappy, Pac and Pal, Pac-Land, Pac-Man, Pac-Man Plus, Pac-Mania, Rompers, and Super Pac-Man. And a lot of those have been on other separate consoles. Yeah. So, like, does that mean Michael B., the Game Genie, is going to, like, turn in his old ones for these new ones?
Trade up.
To save space?
Swap the board.
Yeah. And there's, like, another pub table that's Circus Atari Pong, Pong Doubles, Pong Sports, Quadra Pong, Warlord, Super Breakout, and Tempest.
Yeah, like, when I consider these, I consider thinking, like, it's going to cost me either the price of one of these, maybe 2 of them, to where I could make a MAME cabinet that have as many games as I want. And that's what automatically kind of like deters me from it. Like I said, for the right price, I would definitely pick them up. But it's in my area, there's only our Walmart that is even an option. So it's very, very small chance that I look in on the Turtles and the X-Men fighting one that has Punisher and all that on it. I look in on them every time I go into the electronics department at our Walmart to see if they've gone down, and if they ever do, I'll snag them. But I'm not.
Now that they got the next wave come out, I'm pretty sure you're gonna start finding them discounted.
Honestly, when it comes to Walmart, it depends on the manager, because sometimes they'll like take the store clearance at store level, or sometimes they would prefer to just send them off somewhere else instead of dealing with it at all. So let's hope they decide to just clear it out. Because I could have gotten the Street Fighter one for like $150 or $120, and I was like, I was considering it, but I was like, I have Street Fighter 2, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I don't need multiples of that, but that's the only time I've gotten a chance. And then when I see people getting them for like ridiculously cheap prices, I'm jealous, definitely. So it's not that there's no want there, but it's a cheap want.
Yeah. I just hope that the Killer Instinct one is easier to find than it was for me to find the Mortal Kombat one, because I had to, like, you know how everyone's got like these apps that tell them when there's a PlayStation 5 in stock at a local store? I had to do that with this Mortal Kombat 2 arcade 1UP cab.
Yeah, those are used. I've looked in them. Like there's Brick Seeker, and I think there's one called Pop Finder, which is supposed to be just for like Funko Pops, but you can use it for just about any action figures and stuff. And yeah, apparently they can use them for that kind of stuff too. But I'm like, yeah, well, I got no options around here. That's why I like being able to go across the border. That's where I get the bulk of my stuff, unfortunately, these days. So, well.
But I also hear that LucasArts did a little something last week.
They did a comeback. The games division. So EA has lost exclusivity. I don't know if they're like contract ended or if they just had it pulled.
Well, I think it's just they're going to still be able to make like the Battlefront games and the Fallen Order games. I mean, they're going to still be able to make Star Wars games, but other people can make them now too.
Which is great because that's where Star Wars has shone for years for me. Even when the movies were letting me down, the games were keeping it alive for me. I'm like, I hate this movie, but this game is great. Yeah, and
it's sad when the game based on Episode 3 is better than Episode 3 the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like same with Episode 1 Racer.
Yeah, way better than the racing scene in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. We were saying this like Church and I were talking about this actually on the newest Game Tenants also, and I was like, wish we'd known about this when Chris was on. But we like I said, yeah, that's what kept Star Wars alive for me. And like as far as licenses go, there's not as many bad Star Wars games. I'm not saying there's no bad Star Wars games because I watch your videos.
I've made videos about them.
and I watched, I played some, but you got to kind of go into obscurity to find a bad one for the most part.
Unless your name is Masters of Terraskazi.
Yeah, there's a couple of fun ones, but for the most part, you're pretty good batting average for how many Star Wars games are for how many that are actually good. Mm-hmm. So that's really where I would just be like, oh yeah, I used to like Star Wars, if it just came to watching the movies, and the extended universe and all the characters made up for games, like totally just. I was like, oh, yeah, Star Wars can be good, can it? And I'm thankful for games. So, like, when they made them exclusive to EA, I was like, I like the different flavors you get from the different companies.
Yep.
So, if one company sucks at making it, you're like, whatever, there'll be another one out sometime this year.
For example, THQ, during the Game Boy Advance era, all the games that they made for the Game Boy Advance based on Star Wars were pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And then Ubisoft took over during Episode 3 and
yeah. See, that's what you need. It's like having one company doing anything. You're going to get a shittier product because they don't have anything to go up against. Mm-hmm. That's like
they don't have to one up another studio to try to get your dollars.
That's what was good about there being WWF and the WCW. It was like they both had to try really hard because they were fighting for your viewership. Mm-hmm. It's the same with games. They
want that money.
We can't just go, oh yeah, well it's the only, it's the only wrestling game coming out this year. If you want a wrestling game, you're gonna have to buy it. But if they had two companies, you've got competition, and therefore they're trying to create quality to snatch your dollars. So that's what, if you got a shitty one back in the day, you're like, oh, I don't have to wait a year for them to hopefully make another one.
Yeah, we might be getting multiple Star Wars games a year now because we got multiple studios working on them simultaneously.
And honestly, I'd rather that with games than shows and movies. Like, take your time on the movies and shows because they got a more lasting effect. Mm-hmm. When them announcing like whatever it was, like 20 Star Wars shows, it's like, oh man, I'm kind of already burnt out just seeing all that on a screen.
Yeah.
Like, I love Mando, but goddamn, look at all this stuff. So I'm like, it's just the odds. You're like, not all that's going to be good. Sorry, they're going good right now.
Yeah. Don't push it.
Yeah, like you're putting all your eggs in the Star Wars basket right now. Like,
yeah, in the Starlight Pit.
Yeah. I'm not saying we need to wait like 20 years in between movies or anything, but I'd rather quality than quantity. I'd rather one movie every 5 years and it's good than one every 6 months and you're like, whew, they're really scraping the bottom here.
Yeah.
We really got to do a two. Do we really have to have a 2-season show about Dengar?
Mac and cheese.
Like, God damn. So yeah, I'm glad. Like basically, everything I've said shortened down. Variety is good.
Yeah,
I'm glad we
Ubisoft's
have
already
that.
announced like an open world game,
Yeah.
and maybe someone will bring back that 1313 that I was really looking forward to and
God
got
damn it, I
canceled out of nowhere.
God damn, I hope.
I want that back so bad. But this is what I said to somebody at work when we started talking about this, because one of the guys that I work with is big into video games too, and we started talking about it. And I was saying, you do realize that now Disney owns Fox. Okay? Which means that they own Aliens and the Predator franchises.
Yeah.
So if somebody decides that they want to make a game about bounty hunters and stuff like that, maybe the Aliens and the Predators might make an appearance in that.
Holy shit. Very good crossover.
I want to see the Mando's trophy wall, and there's a fucking Predator skull and an alien skull on that bitch.
And it's
Wink!
Oh,
Make it happen, Disney.
I thought you were gonna say like Alien versus Predator versus Wampas. I don't know.
Alien versus Predator versus Bosk.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Yeah. Right.
I'm saying make it happen. Somebody. Make it happen. It's a thing. Crossover.
Well, we could just, even if they just did comics to try it out first, iron out the wrinkles.
I'm sure it'll happen. Dark Horse is desperate for content. But also, there was an Indiana Jones game announced when they announced this plan.
Yes, the goddamn was.
So we were also talking about that at work, and I was like, do you think it's going to be an Uncharted ripoff? Do you think it's going to be a Tomb Raider ripoff? Do you think it's going to be something new? Is it going to be a point-and-click game like back in the day?
To be fair, Uncharted and Tomb Raider are both ripoffs of Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
They're just good ones, so we don't say it out loud too much.
So what you're saying is Indiana Jones is taking it back.
Yeah, it's mine, bitch. And made by the company that makes the Wolfenstein games, so I don't know if it's going to be first person, third person. We'll see.
Yeah, they didn't really show anything. It was just some random stuff.
It just looks like they kind of hinted at a location. Looks like it's going to be in like Rome or something.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Rome? Yeah,
I think so.
So
We'll
that's
see.
very big, but
Got me excited. But I'm excited. I'll say we need more Indiana Jones in our lives, and if they can convince grumpy ass Harrison Ford to come back and play him again, that would be like.
Yeah, it's what I said. I was like, and honestly, there's not that many Indiana Jones games, and they all got their problems, except those Lego games. Oh. You might be aware of one that's not too terrible, but I've played a couple that are okay. I've never played
the one on the OG Xbox was pretty fun.
Yeah,
was it the Infernal Machine or something?
Yeah,
Or Staffing Kings.
Yeah, I've got one on the Infernal Machine was the 64 one.
Okay, yes.
And yeah, the Staff of Kings. I think I've got it on.
I've got it on Wii too, isn't there?
I've either got it on PS2 or Wii. Is that one you just mentioned?
Yeah, I have one on the OG Xbox.
So that's good.
That holds potential. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's a license that's not completely overdone.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you see Crystal Skull, you're like, oh, maybe that's all they can do.
Can I jump? Can I launch the fridge?
I was like, and again, going with Star Wars, even the only time that storyline was any good was playing it in a Lego game. So, hell yeah, Lego, you did it.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Because it was ridiculous enough that they didn't even really have to put much for jokes.
Yeah.
In the
just Jar Jar showed up and you're like,
yeah, you're like, yeah, the Crystal Skull version of the Lego was like, well, yeah, all the jokes are like the actual movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even have to write anything extra.
The movie was a joke, so why not? Didn't have to pull that low-hanging fruit.
that movie formulated one of my wife and I's favorite like catchphrases is when we're watching something and it just gets too stupid, we say 5 waterfalls. It's only 5 waterfalls. Like, this is just ridiculous now. When they just kept going over waterfalls, But no, whenever you see something, one of us will just go 5 waterfalls, and she's like, "Thank you, holy shit!" Like sometimes she'll hold something back, going, "Oh, I don't know, maybe he's enjoying it," and I'll be like, "5 waterfalls, 5
Trust
waterfalls."
me, I'm not.
I assure you, I'm still the man.
So watch jujitsu and film yourself finding your 5 waterfalls moment.
Damn it, during the credits, I thought I'd get farther than that.
Oh God!
Damn. Well, I know this is a section that we typically take a while at. So
I'll just breeze through it.
what have you picked up lately?
Lately, I've actually I started selling. Whoa, shit!
It's all right.
You okay? Didn't drop nothing on your pack?
I
You
will
didn't crush your peen?
I'll recover. It was all me.
I've been selling my vinyl collection, so I actually got like a whole lot of money, like a lot of money, like a whole lot of money.
Probably just for them Bowies. I was just
Yeah,
like,
one of them did fetch quite a pretty penny. So I've been going kind of hardcore on the game collecting lately. Getting the games from our shit ass postal service is the problem.
hey, I'm having that problem too, but it's for a different reason.
Yeah. Mine is like they say they're delivered, and then 2 weeks later, you finally do get it.
Guess what? eBay changed my zip code. They're like, oh, yeah, the one you're using doesn't exist. So we changed it to something. And I find that out after I've bought 4 things, and they get returned to sender because it's going to a place that doesn't exist. I'm like, that's weird. The things that I've bought since I made this account have gone to their destination. Everything I've ever bought on Amazon has got to its destination, or I've gotten refunded. Let me switch it back, and they won't let me switch it back unless I'm probably gonna have to call them. But I have to like buy something and then like message the seller like, "Hey, I hope you get this before you send it out, or else you're gonna get it back and have to send it to me again." And I don't want to be a dick. But please send it to this actual address, not the wrong one. So, fuck eBay. I'm using it extremely sparingly. I already used it sparingly.
Shit bay.
Yep.
So I'm just going to go through these real quick. I picked up High Speed on the NES,
Okay. Yeah.
which is by Rare, and it's another pinball game, kind of like pinball. It plays exactly like pinball, where they split the screen to follow the ball.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
you have
say,
your flippers.
I think I've played it. I know I have it. I'm pretty sure.
But this has more variety. There's actually like side games and stuff, and like extra tables and stuff you can play for mini games.
Cool.
So had to have this. I've been trying to get that for the longest time. You're gonna love this one.
I've sent sarcasm. Oh,
The WrestleMania arcade game in the long box, son.
hey man, I'll lend you my Hacksaw, and you can fit that on the shelf with those other ones.
No, that's all right. I used to love the arcade game. When I couldn't get on the Mortal Kombat arcade game, I'd always play this. So I've been trying to add this to my collection. I didn't care if I got it for the PS1 or the Saturn. That was the cheapest one that was available on eBay, so I bought it.
Yeah, I always just called it Wrestle Combat.
Yeah, it plays almost exactly the same. It's more like a beat 'em up or like a fighting game than a wrestling game.
And then when they went into the 3D with like WWF Warzone and Attitude, they kept the control scheme of doing a ridiculous combination to do like a suplex.
Yeah.
And you had to do like a fatality to do a stunner. You're like, Jesus.
I told you this. I texted you about it. I was like, I've been going down the rabbit hole of import Sega Master System games.
I support this.
Yes, the UK and like Brazil got like way more games for this console than we did.
Yeah, what's ours like?
Including all 3 OG Mortal Kombat games.
See, that's weird. That's weird to me. But that's
Yes.
cool.
Part 3 is prohibitively expensive. We're talking like $300 expensive right now.
Ooh.
But this one is really cheap, and it is essentially a port of the Game Gear game, or the Game Gear game is a port of this.
Okay.
So it's kind of choppy. It doesn't exactly play very well. You got 2 buttons.
That's kind of what I'm expecting, honestly, because
Yeah.
that's basically what the Game Gear was. It's just a handheld Master System.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool to have for me because Mortal Kombat collector. I have to have these in my collection. Am I going to play it all the time? Probably not.
But you ain't no slouch when it comes to collecting all them games.
Hells to the no. Also picked this up because of Nintendo. He's a friggin' enabler like you are a little bit. sometimes. This game called Platypus on the PSP. And he talked about it in a pickup video of his. And what it is, it's a vertically or a horizontally scrolling shmup, but all the graphics are claymation.
Cool. So
And
instead of clay fighters, it's clay blasters.
Clay blasters. I mean, if you look at the cover, I mean, even like the blaster, like explosions of clay on that ship.
Blop.
Yeah. So when he said that, and he said it's extremely fun, so I was like, sure, give it to me. I need it.
Do it.
So went out and picked out a copy of that.
Cool.
Picked up a copy of John Wick Hex on the PS4 because John fucking Wick. But it's a strategy game. It's like playing a tabletop combat game where you have like a certain amount of actions per turn that you can dedicate toward attacks or moving or whatever.
Yeah.
And a hexagonal board. So it looked really interesting.
It looked really interesting in our hotel when we went to E3, but we couldn't go into a little area because we didn't have a invite. So that was really disheartening. That was before
you just bumped Metal Jesus.
Before I even it wasn't even in our hotel. I think Kinsey stayed at our hotel. But yeah, it was like on the way to E3, got our first denial before we even left our hotel.
Which is some bullshit.
It was like, oh, cool. It's only like John Wick. I love Keanu. I missed Keanu because I didn't get to go to the presentation. So
which is some bullshit too.
I was like, God damn. So sadness immediately. But yeah, I've been stoked on the game, but that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. But I'm like, it's still John Wick, and I still
gotta have it.
Really want it. Yeah.
And it's dirt cheap too. It's like $20.
Sweet.
Also picked up Mortals Phoenix Rising on the Xbone, but it also is available to be played on the Series X. So I already have a Series X game if I want it.
Cool.
But I hear this is a ripoff of I almost said Gone with the Wind.
Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I've heard that. And I heard it streamlines some things that are kind of about that game, so that's cool.
But it's done in like a silly tongue-in-cheek way, from what I understand, and it's fantastic. So
yeah, it's like a fantastical world.
Can't wait to try. Got this for $20.
It's cool. Well,
it came out in 20, but I also picked up.
Sometime I also got it too.
Yeah, yeah. Best Buy had like for the week of Christmas, they discounted this to $30, even though it came out in December.
Mm-hmm.
They discounted it to $30. And because I had bought another game through Best Buy, I got a $10 gift certificate, and I used it for this, so I got it for $20.
Sweet.
But the biggest thing I got since the last podcast is my copy of Paprium.
Finally.
Which I ordered like in 2017, so it almost took like 4 years for this stupid thing to get here.
I think we talked about that on the last one, didn't we?
No, I didn't have it back then.
Or maybe we talked about it on
I videoed you on Facebook.
Okay.
But it's a beat 'em up that's
what it was.
Is 80 megs, the biggest Sega Genesis game ever at this point in time, even though it's not considered a legit, but absolute worst packaging of all time. Should I do it?
Yeah, if you want. At least it wasn't. At least it's like the pop open plastic, not that you gotta cut it.
Yeah,
plastic, like controllers used to come in.
It looks like one of those cardboard slipcase Genesis games from like late in the game, right? But no, this is actually the case itself, and you have to open it like so.
It's like a double digipack.
And then you got to open it like so, and then you got to open it like so, and then you can get your manual out of here and all that kind of stuff.
And there ain't even no pop-up pictures.
No, but the worst thing is that the game deals with drug use a lot, so they kind of put the cartridge in like this oversized pill case that had like a foil cover over it, and you have to get the cartridge out through that. The game itself is very heavy. I was one of the lucky ones that did not get a cart with something loose in it inside.
That's good.
And then you have to keep it inside this stupid plastic pill case just to actually have it fit inside the case itself. So
I mean, especially after that weight, if you got a thing with rattly pieces, I'd be pretty rattled myself.
If you watched Radical Reggie's video about his copy, he said there was something huge inside the cartridge rattling around, and he had to take it apart, and it was like the covering for the main chipset had popped off, and he had to glue it back on.
God damn, that's not something you want to do with. Especially, it was a pretty pricey game too.
Yeah, And this is the second tier version. I can't remember what they called it, but there is one that has a regular plastic clamshell. But I did not get that one. I wish I did.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. But will I ever buy something from Watermelon again? Probably not.
And people think waiting for limited run games is a pain in the ass.
Thinking you're waiting for a CD Projekt Red game is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But that's it for me. When it comes to games, I have some movies too.
Okay, I will go pretty swiftly.
Do it.
So a game I actually kind of forgot I ordered, and then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, I should probably look into that because I haven't heard a goddamn thing about it. And then it showed up the next day. And that is Wallachia, the Reign of Dracula. It's basically, I'm going to call it a Contravania. It looks like Castlevania in like every way, but it plays like Contra with, a little bit of updates to the controls. Cool. Like it so far, hard as balls. That's why I'm calling it a Contravania. It feels like Contra. So it's going to be a lot of memorization to play through that. And when you die, you start. I don't know if it's like got checkpoints or anything. I've only played it for a few minutes to check it out. And every time I died, I started at the beginning of like.
Oh, so maybe it's a little bit of a roguelike too. Yeah,
so it's it plays. I didn't see anything changing really, but yeah, you start right at the beginning of the area again. So hopefully it's not as unforgiving as it seemed at first try, but we'll see. And I already mentioned I got this, but Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
So I still have a complete Zelda collection because CDI don't count. Then speaking of games that were on sale the week after Christmas, picked up Desperados 3 for dirty cheap. It's a game I've been kind of looking at.
What kind of game is that?
It's like a strategy, story-driven, hardcore tactical stealth game.
Yeah.
It looks kind of cool. Like, yeah. I've been kind of looking at it for a bit here and there, and then it just went ridiculously cheap. So I was like, yeah, sure. And along with this one, I've been looking at it since it's been in the case. But I'm like, I still haven't played the last one, but I'm still happy to have it either way, and that's Wasteland 3.
Yeah, I got to pick that up.
I've had Wasteland 2 since it went dirty cheap, and I hear good things about it. What my problem is, I don't know. And
yeah, same here.
I'm probably gonna get called out for this because I think I just talked shit about this franchise like twice, maybe 3 times in this podcast. But I watched someone playing this game and it looked kind of fun. And I've played games of franchises I don't like before, so I'm hoping it is. And that's
Catwoman.
Fast and the Furious Crossroads.
I know.
Honestly, really, really fuck Fast and the Furious. I don't like these movies at all. They're a joke. And it's almost like a drinking game whenever they talk about family, but you'll die, so don't play that game. And then I got another game, and it's about time. That's actually what it is. Crash I wanted it, but I didn't full price want it, and then it dropped to about half price. I think same as Immortals did. So I was like, hey, okay. And
okay,
that's it for games, which is really games that I actually bought and received since last one. But as I also mentioned, and I'm really going to try to make this quick, I've been hard into the action figures again. So after I got that Halo Reach Collector's Edition statue, it really made me realize like I have zero Halo anything besides the games and the consoles. So I grabbed this Master Chief for cheap. I was like, whatever. Need some kind of rep. Some kind of rep in the game room there.
Okay, I could give you my little Warthog toy if you want it.
Cool. Show. And I think I mentioned this guy last time. The Venomized Captain America. Since opened this bastard. He's beautiful. But there's a whole wave of symbiote shit. And if there's anything you know about me or need to know about me, it's I love them symbiotes. So I got
Separation anxiety, sucker.
like Gwenom or whatever it's called. So it's like Venom Gwen with this crazy like long tongue, like the longest tongue I've ever seen on a symbiote. We got the staples of what you need. I got movie Venom. I might have talked about these guys when I got them because I actually bought them a couple months ago, but I put them away because there's a rule in our house: if I buy anything between my birthday and Christmas, it just goes away for Christmas. So the kids pick these out for me, and of course you need Carnage.
Hell yeah!
Because why
Maximum.
even bother? Though the maximum, and then we got Phage. I like his like little appendage there. He's got like detachable hands, and we got Miles Morales. I don't have a regular Miles Morales figure, but I really like this one. It's really cool. And there's actually one that's not a Venom character in this wave, and that's Morbius. I guess this is what Morbius will look like in the movie. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it too much. It's Jared Leto, and I've been burned before of hearing about him being in a comic movie, so we'll see. It doesn't look too bad. It's not my favorite Morbius, but I can get on board with that if that's how he looks. He looks like a vampire, as long as he's not going on and on about plasma like in the fucking animated series. But this is the first time I've actually been like Morbius the least, but this is the first time I've been interested in an entire wave of Marvel Legends. The Captain America was separate from this wave, but usually I'm like two tops. Even if it's like a X-Men or something, like these characters are too obscure. I don't care about these ones. Maybe 3, 4 at the very most. I've never wanted all of them, and usually the Build-A-Figure and the one that I do get a bunch of the figures for is just one I don't care to complete. But this one I had to have, and that's Venom Pool.
God damn!
Look at this huge bastard. God,
I think it's massive.
Yeah, I love this figure. This is the coolest Build-A-Figure.
Someone's been using the Thigh Master.
Right? I'm like, are you sure that's not Venom Hulk Pool?
There you go.
Whatever. I don't even need the backstory. I haven't read the comic of when this happens, but it looks cool as shit.
It's like Venom had sex with Deadpool, which had sex with the Hulk, which had sex with the potato.
Yeah, so that's that wave. And then I had to get this bastard to go with it. I saw him in store and passed, but then since I've been getting into the Marvel Legends a lot, I had to get this deluxe Venom, which is the same size as Venom Pool almost. He costs a little bit more than the typical Marvel Legends, obviously because of his size.
That's a lot of plastic.
But I was willing. And then this one, I mentioned before, I've been trying to get like all the main like 90s team X-Men. And with that, I need to get some bad guys. And this isn't my very favorite version, but I might actually paint this. But I love Apocalypse, and I consider him one of the main X-Men villains. And I had to get this figure. I like the cool skull he holds that came with him.
That's pretty cool.
He has a laughing head too, but I can, I want the the animated series version if I can manage it. But that was unfortunately a Build-A-Figure from a set that came out like a year ago or 2 years ago. And like I said at the beginning, those go for ridiculous amounts when they're like 6 months old. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to pay like $200 for them, but it would be cool to get them. Next is a 3-pack. And this is Phantom X. And he comes with these cool like detachable, there's smoke and there's like the firing thing, so that's kind of a cool detail. But the reason I actually wanted this was for one of my favorite X-Men, Psylocke.
Yeah, that doesn't look like Olivia Munn.
Yeah, well, I'm not going for any of the movie style ones, so I guess that's okay. I've got a different one I bought with her classic like purple outfit, but I liked this one too, so I got it, and it was one of the rare times where I actually seen one of these packs go on sale, and I would think it was less than half price on Amazon. So I jumped on it, which is good because now I looked at it and it's $20 more than it was the retail. It also comes with Nimrod, I don't know if you remember this guy.
No, I do not.
This is the guy that follows Bishop back in time in like the Days of the Future Past thing. It's kind of like a Sentinel type deal, like an advanced Sentinel, the one that like regenerates. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Closest thing I have to a Sentinel, because those things are stupid expensive. And probably my favorite single figure I bought this year was this Legendary Riders Punisher. He comes with so many, like this motorcycle alone is badass. Love it. I'm probably going to use it for multiple figures. But he came with so many accessories, like a machete. Obviously, it's Punisher. He needs like 4 different kinds of gun. He has a Viking helmet, an alternate head where he's not so beat up. Just a baseball bat. And notice the smoke coming out of his gun.
I love the smoke coming out of the shotgun.
That's what actually I took them from this guy. Those came with him, and I'm like, oh, cool. I got some use for this immediately. So yeah, I like that kind of a Terminator pose. Yeah, so happy I grabbed that guy. He was actually on sale too. I don't know why, because he's awesome. And then there's this. I wanted this a couple months ago. I know you probably know what I'm bringing out right now. And for my birthday, remember I got the Colossus and Juggernaut 2-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I got it, my brother and my mom picked it up for me out of town. And then they mentioned this other one to me, and they're like, oh, I'm surprised you didn't ask us to get this, or you might have it already. But they had like a Wolverine versus Hulk one. And I'm like, well, if I knew they had that, I would have been like, yeah, get that. I'd want that even more than the Colossus and Juggernaut one. But it's like it's expensive everywhere. And I just took my brother to the side and was like, hey, you got to go back, because he was going to school there. And I was like, hey, when you go back, like if you find it, let me know. I'll send you money for it. And he's like, okay. And then like waited till like the day he was coming back. He's like, yeah, I went and it was out. And I was like, well, yeah, you must have waited till the last day. I'm like, yeah, probably. If it's been there, it's been like over a week. It's like cheap. I was like, well, whatever. I'm not paying the going rate for it, so I guess I just don't get it. And then what do I get on Christmas from them? The freaking Hulk. I love this Hulk.
That thing is huge.
And it's from the first appearance of Wolverine, so it's like it's like his original look with his like where he's got the kind of like whiskers on his mask, and like the sides of it are all shorter. And I don't have anything along this line yet, and I'm a big Wolverine fan, so I had to have this. So I basically display it where he's got him like this. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's it for the superheroes. Onto the bots, quickly. Snapdragon triple changer turns into a dinosaur and a jet. Best of both worlds.
Yep, I think I had that one back in the day.
I got me some Astro Train action.
Hell yeah, Astro Train.
I have no Astro Trains yet. Here's another one I have none of at all whatsoever. That's Optimus Prime. I have 46 Optimus Prime.
What's the little yellow guy in there?
Oh, there's like these little combiner things go with them. I don't even know if it says his name on it. Oh, Enerax and Shieldrun. I guess he's a dodecahedron that turns into a shield. That's what I get from that name. And right out of my reach, I got Hot Link, which looks like
sausage.
Hot Link looks more like it looks a lot like
Skyfire or whatever.
Skywarp. Yeah, it looks like Skywarp.
Skywarp, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's different. So I don't know. Close enough. I got Thundercracker coming in the mail, and I've already got the Starscream that I showed before, so that's cool.
Sweet.
And then epic crossover I had to pick up. That's Back to the Future, Transformers, Gigawatt. Because what else are you going to call this motherfucker?
Damn right.
So
1.21 gigawatts.
Pretty a little pricey, but I don't know. I don't have anything.
If you ever find an Enterprise Transformer,
I think I missed the boat on that one because I think that's already happened.
If you ever see it, if it like it's not a thing. If it is a thing and it becomes a thing, I want you to let me know.
I'm pretty sure there was one. I know there was definitely the Star Wars ones. And I probably should have grabbed the Darth Vader TIE Fighter Transformer. But yeah. And then the only other thing is, I talked about the other one last time, but I got Mario Kart Live, the Luigi one. I had so much fun with the Mario one when we opened it on Christmas that I was like, I got to get Luigi. And it ruined the experience.
Aww.
I don't know if you saw my tweet about it, but we loved it. But all of a sudden, like when it comes to two of them, they have to connect to be able to play two-player because it's an AR experience. And you make a track with the one and you can join in the game. They don't stay connected for crap. And when it's just one, it can go like there's a circle in our house where you can walk through the kitchen, come out in the dining room, go through the dining room into the living room again. So it's a perfect circle. It's a thin wall. And it's fine when you got one, but as soon as you got two hooked up, the second it leaves your sight and goes into the kitchen, it looks like someone hit your switch with a hammer. You're like, it's so pixelated. You're like, what the fuck? And they're like, I think that's the fridge. And then it's like frozen in place, the picture on the fridge. And you're like, it's not even moving. But then you hear the car in the kitchen like crashing into shit because it's like not the screen's not changing, but it's still controlling the car. And you're like, this is a bunch of bullshit. And anyone watching who hasn't played it was probably thinking, like, just follow it then.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
Well, it comes with these arches that you put all over everywhere, and it gives you, like, boosts and little items and stuff when you drive under them. Especially when you got two of them, you got twice the amount. And, so I'm not going to, like, step on this shit because I'm too busy looking at my screen following my car. And that, like, I don't know. What a pain in the ass. What a missed opportunity. And I immediately, within like 20 minutes opening this thing, regretted buying it. And it makes me really sad to say. So I'm probably going to have to set it up in my garage where there's zero interference. Then hopefully it plays nice with the other one. But yeah, they got some kinks they really should have ironed out with this before releasing it. I'm pretty disappointed. I've seen a couple of like fixes that might make it work a little bit better, but they also mention like have zero obstructions. I'm like, who has a giant track-sized room with nothing in it? Like if you got things, like I got the garage, but it's got shit set up in it. And what, I'm gonna push up everything against the wall just to play some RC cars for a bit. I was like, it says don't play outside. I'm like, I'd rather bring it out on the street and race it around.
Yeah.
And at least get some use out of it. So hopefully I can come back with an update and be like, oh, I found a fix. It's not so bad. But as so far, Luigi fucking sucks.
Ouija.
Yeah,
weenie.
So yeah, I had a good. So this episode, I've had a good Luigi experience and an abysmal one. So yeah, it was a good way to get angry within like 10 minutes right before bedtime for the kids. But yeah, that's it. Another long-winded. But we've missed a couple weeks, so I've accumulated more shit in that meantime.
I did pick up a couple of movies.
Cool.
I picked up It Came From Outer Space, which is a movie my dad taped off of TV or something back in the day.
That's how I watched Star Wars.
Yeah. I remember he said he saw it in the drive-in when he was when he was younger or something like that, but it's like a monster space movie from the 50s where, if I remember correctly, it comes down like in a meteor and it has like a giant eyeball or something. I remember vaguely seeing it, but I wanted it because it's in 3D.
Ooh. So that PSVR action.
It'll be revisiting something that I don't remember very much from my childhood, and at the same time, I get another 3D movie for my collection.
So a new coat of paint on it.
Damn right. And it was, according to my dad, it was in 3D when he saw it at the drive-in. So
sweet.
Cool. And I also picked up 4K Total Recall.
Yeah.
Get your ass to Mars. Come on, do it now. I just want to make the sound he makes when he's dying on the surface of Mars all day long. But I saw this at Target and it was like $15, and I was like, yeah, I'll upgrade for $15.
Look how fucking triumphant his face looks on that.
That cover is just, and it's like metallic. It's kind of like embossed. It's pretty awesome.
It's one of those things that even if I had it on 4K Blu-ray and it had a different cover, I'd see that and be like, it's telling me I've got to get my ass
over own it. Get your ass to Target.
Get your ass to the register with this. Yeah, so.
Get your ass to electronics. But this is the 30th anniversary edition, so it has a whole bunch of new special features on it, which makes me happy.
My favorite was the DVD with him doing the commentary on it.
Yeah. Any commentary with Arnold is great.
Yeah, this is the part where like they're like those guys attack him before he goes through.
You blabbed, Quabe. You blabbed about Mars.
When they shoot that guy at the top of the elevator, the escalator. I just remember going, "Oh, look at him! Like I have no regard. I have no regard for his life. I just toss him."
I think the one that made me laugh the most was Conan the Barbarian. When Conan's parents are dying at the beginning of the movie, his bodybuilding buddy Sven shows up on a horse, and he goes, "Sorry, I was late to the set, everybody. I was at home masturbating." I was like, what are you smoking, Arnold, and can I get some?
I like during the COVID times, someone should just be recording him watching anything and just doing like a Mystery Science Theater thing of it. Just talking
Arnold Science Theater 3000.
It's called Arnold Talks Over Things, and he just
I would do it. I would watch it every time.
I don't even care about the context of this.
Yeah, fuck the COVID, man. Come on. Open up the door. There's a bomb in there.
I'd watch him commentating anything.
Yeah.
I'd watch sports if Arnold commentated them.
But I also picked up a movie that is also serving as my movie highlight of the episode.
What's that?
And that is Tenet.
Cool.
So I remember I talked about it in the episode where I actually saw this in the theater. One of the few movies I did see in the theater in 2020.
Oh, it's the Christopher Nolan one, right?
Yeah. And I wasn't really a fan of it when I saw it in the theater because of the way Christopher Nolan mixed the sound. Couldn't make out anything anyone was saying in this movie most of the time.
So the music was like blaring.
The music and the sound effects and the bass, just the bass. For some reason, the music is mostly bass. And it's just like it drowns out every piece of dialogue. And I was kind of like, why would you create this ultra complex plot and not let us get the information we need to make sense of it by covering it up with all these sound effects and music? So you basically sabotage your movie. So when I picked it up, I was like, I'm watching this tonight with subtitles.
Well, I was gonna say, is the sound mixed better?
The sound on the video is mixed way better.
Okay, well that's good.
There's still some parts where it's kind of tough to hear because there's so much shit going on, like explosions and gunfire and music and everything. But with the subtitles, I was finally able to make complete sense of the movie, and I have changed my tune on it. I absolutely love it. It ended up being my favorite movie of the year.
Well, that's awesome.
Currently,
I was kind of wondering when I saw you holding it up. I was like, didn't you just dog on that like 2 episodes?
Yeah. So like I now get the idea. I get the all the information I need to make sense of it, and it is kind of fantastic. It's kind of like a really cool twist on a time travel movie, but without time travel.
Well, I wish we'd done this before I saw the store display and kicked it over because you shit on it. Fuck. No, I gotta go back and apologize to Walmart.
But yeah, it's like people can travel forward and backwards in time simultaneously. Like there's a machine they call it inversion. It will invert you so you're actually moving backwards through time. Okay. And there's multiple scenes where you've got people moving in both directions, interacting with each other, like fighting each other or car chases or whatever. And it's a marvel to actually see go down. You get to watch a movie explode and implode at the same time. It's really ingenious. And the thing is, you need all that information to make sense of everything because they are constantly throwing details you need at you at times. And it's like it's imperative that you listen and pay attention with this movie. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like, huh? The whole movie.
Yeah, and I feel like I gotta pick it up because I always peek at the movies every time I go in Walmart, even though I know they only change on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And last few weeks there's been nothing new, and Tenet's the only thing that's new on their like new release queue.
definitely recommending picking it up now.
Well, I guess I'll do that now.
It's a very creative, well thought out. Like the world building with it is pretty awesome. And it's one of those movies that requires, I think, 2 viewings to get everything out of it, because there is stuff that you'll kind of forget from the beginning that might seem inconsequential and just kind of something going on in the background. But when you watch it again and you know what you know, once you've seen the movie once, you're like, oh, I see what you did, you clever motherfucker, you.
He's pretty good with stuff like that. Like he did that with Inception. Yeah, we're gonna watch that one a couple times. Like you get it enough to understand it, but then you like really get it the second time you watch it. That's why I like. Yeah,
it's a really well made, well put together movie. I do recommend it now. That I understand it. I'm still imploring Christopher Nolan, please stop doing that to your movies. Stop sabotaging your own films.
I really wish I hadn't punched all the movie boys in the chest when they try to talk about it.
Thanks, Pico.
Yeah. Check it out. You know what? You should fuck yourself.
And then I'll invert it and do it again.
Backwards.
Backwards punch you in the peen.
A slap and then a backhand.
Over and over and over and over.
And then until I get tired, and then I do the Mr. Burns. Make me slap him. That was weak. Make
2 times. Make me powder my pimp-hand inversed.
Yeah.
I unpowdered my pimp-hand. How about that?
While we're highlighting stuff.
Yeah, I do have a PS VR highlight this month as well.
You know where we're going. It's almost like we have this written on the side of the screen to keep us on track.
What are you talking about? Stop lying. Fibber.
It's almost like.
So my pick is Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Yeah.
Which I think it's best that we like highlight the must-haves, like the ones that are like the essentials that you need to start a PSVR collection to show off what it does.
Yeah, because at first we started with like, you might not have heard of this one.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned this, but yeah, this was definitely one you got to have. But you know, a lot of people have said it, but now it's time for our take on it.
Yeah, but like I keep getting asked because I've done videos about my PSVR on my channel. That like, what are the games that you must have if you get a PSVR? Like 8-Bit Glitch 79 like sent me a message like, oh, I just got a PSVR. What are the games I need to have? And I was like, here's the essentials. You know,
did you do the Will Smith pose? And then
just look at my collection, bitch.
Yeah.
Watch the video. That's why I made it for, man.
Come on, dude.
But yeah, this is definitely an essential. It's like a platformer done in VR where you're kind of like you're a character playing a video game because you can see your hands holding the controller on screen if you look down and all that. But
you're Cheropian.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get out of my head. And you control the little Astrobot character who's doing all the platforming stuff, and you're trying to find other Astrobots that have like gotten lost along the way, and they end up like coming back into your controller and all that. And the platforming is really fun. The graphics are really, really good. I think it's kind of strange, kind of like the way Moss was a little bit strange, where you're kind of like this god character looking down and you're controlling the little characters instead of being the character that you're obviously looking through their eyes.
Yeah, and a lot of the puzzles have to do with your point of view too.
Yeah, like you can actually like look around things and stuff like that you wouldn't be able to see if you were playing it in 2D.
Yeah, it's a real good showcase of like just VR in general, and that's what.
But done in a way that people under like a genre that people really like a real easy to understand genre, like the platformer.
Yeah, definitely. It's like one of the ones I would recommend as like as you're getting into it. It's like a perfect stepping stone to get into the genre, the hardware in general. Yeah,
like this is like honestly, if you were to buy like a PSVR tomorrow, I would say make this your first game because this will ease you into the nuances of using the PSVR.
Yeah, and it's not one that'll give you motion sickness.
No, because you're basically stationary, and as your character advances, the screen will move.
Yeah, that's great. And it's not jarring. It's not jarring.
It's real smooth. It's really easy to pick up and play. It's a lot of fun, and it's basically a sequel to like a downloadable like app almost.
Yeah,
that you can get from the PlayStation Store, and that's like one of the little mini games in it is the Astrobot thing,
like
the Playroom or something. It was, yeah.
And then, well, with all PS5s, the sequel comes like built in too, which bummed us out when we were talking about it. I've heard only good things about it, so I'm not saying it's a bad game,
but it's not in VR.
Yeah, it bummed us all out that it wasn't a VR game. So
maybe they'll release like an updated version or something at some point that'll have VR capabilities.
When they, probably in like a year or two when they kind of get past like the, all the new stuff that come in. Yeah, maybe when they'll probably put out a VR2 weekend.
Yeah.
They were saying
that's okay. I got my free cable attachment.
I got mine finally too. I forgot about it, and I was like, "Well, watch, they're all gone, and they're all on eBay for $100." And I was like, "Oh no!" They don't even charge you shipping. That's super good, guy. That's my only PS5 thing so far.
Yeah, that's the only that and the only next gen or the only current gen things I have is that cable for my PS5 and my copy of Immortals: Phoenix Rising that can be played on the Xbox Series X. Yeah,
I think I got 3 or 4 so far that have the thing on it. I think didn't your Cyberpunk have that on it?
It does not have anything on there that says it can, but they've said that it does. It will be able to do that in the future.
Okay, yeah, because I know
I think Gears Tactics does too.
Yeah, the Gears Tactics, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't know. I know I got a couple though, but yeah, cool. Well, all that cool shit we got. You know what I think it's time for? I think we need an excuse to play more video games.
I think you're right.
What's my favorite excuse for playing more video games? Backlog Roulette.
And what is the Backlog Roulette, Jason?
The Backlog Roulette is an ordinary ass roulette wheel with this get biggie mushroom, and it's you make a list 1 to 36, and then 0 and 00 of games that you've had in your backlog, and you can't seem to decide which one you want to play, or you just need an excuse to finally just take the plunge into this game and play it. Honestly, this can be tooled any way you want to do it. We do it with games that are older than the current gen, so that we kind of, instead of just trying to play catch up or stay current, we also play these games that we're stockpiling like they're going to be all incinerated. And
by another asteroid.
And we actually can get through them. So, it's opened up so much possibilities for games for us to play. In Chris's world, not always for the best.
Don't remind me.
But
why you gotta bring up old shit?
I am proud of you because you keep trying. And like we said, sometimes you'll play a game that sucks, but then you'll pop in a game while I got this thing hooked up. We'll see what else I got to play. That's so you don't have just a bad taste left in your mouth. So without further ado, let's spin that wheel, sir.
Yo, DJ, spin that wheel.
All right. Here we go. Where did it go? Where did my mushroom go? You little bastard. Oh, there he is. Ah! All right. Let's try that again. All right. Now I'm ready for real. That was a dress rehearsal. And got your list ready?
Yep.
It seems like forever since we've done this.
I know, right? This last time we did this was last month.
Yeah, I guess so. We got number 29. I hear joy.
Because it's something that's right on my... This is the equivalent of you getting a Ghostbusters game.
Ooh. Speaking of which, next month, you got to get it on the Xbox 360 and maybe play online with me. I got to test the servers.
I should see if I still actually have it. But anyway, I got Star Trek Deep Space Nine on the Super Nintendo.
Nice. That's your favorite Star Trek.
It is.
Well, good. I got Final Fight Streetwise.
I hear not the best in the series. Oh no!
Wait.
Should we roll again?
No, I just thought for a second I thought I looked at 28. Okay, yeah, we're good. That's what I got.
Okay.
I'll try it out. I mean, I hope it's good because so far I'm kind of like, fuck Final Fight. Just to rage with this. Final Fight doesn't need to. So we'll see how that carries on through history. Maybe I'll find a diamond in the rough. Maybe I'll continue with my campaign of fuck Final Fight. Why does it exist? So meet us back here on the next episode. Same Enabler Bro time, same Enabler Bro channel. And yeah, we'll see how I feel about it. Maybe it'll suck so much ass it'll be the first game that I don't beat.
Ruh-roh.
Maybe it'll be good though. Anyway,
now.
Well, then I really hope everyone plays along with us. Always encourage it.
Captain Algebra cannot wait for these to come out.
Yeah, and I've liked like pretty much every game I've gotten so far. I've at least enjoyed for the most part. It's not all perfect.
Have not.
So this might be the first one. Like it sucked ass, but I beat it anyway. So if it sucks ass, hopefully it's at least short. I don't know. I know it's under 10 hours because that's the stipulation I put on myself, the games that are under 10 hours. So let's hope DS9 does you well.
Don't do me wrong, Star Trek.
Henson Kreese was actually just playing that the other day.
I was watching Red Ox PDX on Twitch.
Cool.
Maybe like 2 hours before we started. And they were playing Super Star Wars, and somebody brought up in the chat that they should try the Deep Space Nine game. And I actually said, I've played it before. It's actually really fun. So
cool. Hopefully you beat it. What kind of game is it?
It's almost like one of those cinematic platformers, kind of like Prince of Persia. Throughout the station. And there's shooter levels where you're in like a runabout.
Okay.
Shooting down Cardassians and shit.
That ain't bad.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. You get to play as different characters. You get to play as Cisco and Kira and Bashir and Odo.
I've got to put more time into the Star Trek games because I've got quite a few myself.
Play Conquest.
I've got Conquest. I've got the Voyager one that I've heard is a pretty good.
Voyager one's pretty cool. It's a first-person shooter. Yeah.
I'm like, that's probably my least favorite Star Trek, but if it's a fun game,
that game alone is better than all of the run of Voyager.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. My wife, anytime she sees Kate Mulgrew, she has to announce that she hates Kate Mulgrew. So
she's not going to watch the Captain Janeway cartoon that's coming out.
Probably not.
Oh, she just wants because there's coffee in that nebula, Jason. There's coffee in that nebula.
I don't give a shit. She likes coffee, but she's not gonna bond with Janeway over. She's like, oh, I like tea too. Guess who else likes tea? Captain Picard. So watch that.
7 of 9.
Yeah, 7 and 9. Yeah, 7.
It's more like 2 of 9.
7 and 9 ended up with Picard anyway, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Spoilers.
That's where she should be.
Watch Picard though.
Yes, watch it. Watch it a lot.
When's season 2 coming out? Is it hurrying out?
They're not even filming it yet. They're not going to film it for like another couple months. They got held back because of COVID.
We must protect Patrick Stewart, so I understand.
Yes.
And
He's a national treasure.
He's an intergalactic treasure.
Yeah. Come on, Sir Pat. Let's go.
Yeah, he's the coolest. All right. I think that about does this for this episode. We've went on at length. This is another 3 goddamn hour episode. If you stuck through it, you are a champion or just one of our good friends that
achievement unlocked.
Feels bad that I don't get any views. But I hope you were as entertained as I was. I miss chatting with my buddies, and I needed this for my mental health. I've been really worn down.
You need it for yours, everybody watching. We are good for your mental health.
Well, I hope so. This entertains me. Like this is our hangout podcast. That's why we aren't really bang it out quick. We just we chat, we hang out, shoot the shit. This is
This is us treating ourselves.
This is a purposeful format. We're not just like rambling idiots. We're just like, I just want to hang out with my friend, and this is how I do it. And now it's a podcast.
Yeah.
So
you get to share in the conversation.
Yeah, I really want as much participation as possible. So I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Play the roulette.
Do it.
Hasta la vista, baby.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.